Alright guys, welcome. How are we doing? Hope everybody's enjoying themselves. We'll jump into the game very soon, in just a second. Let's change the background, just for the funsies. Why not? So, pretty special one today. And why? It's the last casino. This is it. Genuinely, it's the last casino, and it's going to be a royal one. So, I thought my sleep would sort of be, sort of back into a sort of stable shape after how smoothly everything went yesterday. But I've only had like 3 hours sleep since the last stream at this point. Maybe a little bit longer. Maybe I've had 4 hours sleep. So I'll probably be going back to bed after this. And we'll see how we go. I actually don't feel that tired though, which is kind of weird. Maybe I'm totally overtired. I guess we'll see. Yeah. So look, people have seen that I was online about 4 hours ago. What I was doing was looking at the new event, the Destabilized Magic event, which is an opportunity to get some new skins that will go away once the event leaves, and the only way you'll be able to do it is through the new raid wing itself. So kind of worth looking into, and obviously worthwhile for Guild Wars 2 Master purposes. But more on that later, I think. Let's jump in first of all. So here we are in game. The music in game is just turned off, but it will return. 5 minutes. We have casino. Now this is why it's a special one. Yesterday, what I also managed to do is squeeze in one extra round of casino stuff. So what we're looking for is 200 coins, and at 200 coins we can buy that last Choya kite, and we're finished. And well, I already have 183, so even in round 1 here, we're actually going to get this all finished. We're going to be good. So this whole section of the stream where we open at noon, Azric's purpose for this may be going away. Now I do just want to make one little point, and something I realized. One of the things to do in Fractals and dungeons too, I guess, anywhere where you're on foot, you're not going to be able to mount story instances would also be true. It's a really good idea to use the Endless Choya Pinata tonic, because while you're in this form, if you have like quickness, or maybe it's super speed, I don't know, there's like a certain boon or buff that you want. When you use the skill 2, you go flying, you go rocketing off, and you move very, very, very fast. It's excellent for getting around. It's kind of like the new Executioner's Axe. I say new since Path of Fire came out, people have been doing this. So I've had one of these for a long time, but it's only very recently I've realized that if you bind it to your novelties, which I have, I bound mine, obviously you've got it on a hotkey now, which is kind of nice. I've got mine on F5, for example. However, when it's bound to novelties, you cannot trigger it in combat anymore. And one of the big things about this is that you can use it in combat to rush away and, you know, get extra speed in various fractals and whatever. But the only way to do it is to double click the actual item. There you can use it in combat. If not, if it's bound, you can't. So, in theory, if I want to have this for Fractals and for Guild Wars 2 Master, I actually need to buy this twice. I need to buy this the first time to unlock it as a novelty, and then the second time to regain the item, which I'll be able to actually double-click somewhere in my inventory as I'm playing Fractals. So that would be a whopping 2,000 coins just on that one thing. And in theory, is another 1,000 coin climb for, you know, me to do, and a ton more of this stuff. However, even if I may decide to do that, which, you know, I could at some point, it's now outside of the scope of Master, so it won't be a part of the streams, I think. I think I may well get it, and I may well do it. But there's no reason to open a stream every day. Look at how tired Rick looks. The gambling, it's ruined him. He's lost everything. He just wants it to end. The high he got all those years ago, when he first had a machine payout, he's never truly got back to. And with every extra penny he drops into the slot machine, he just slips further and further from his wife, from his family, from his soul. Don't gamble, people. All right, so yeah, maybe I'll do that one day. But we're going to go to the Red Choya for now. And yeah, we're kind of done with this section, which I know will be very much looked forward to some people. Those people probably aren't listening to me right now. There's probably a good chunk of people who have just sort of stopped prioritizing watching this in the morning because they found that they're not quite as entertained as they thought they might be. And that's because there's been an awful lot of the same content going over and over and over again. So they're probably not around at the moment. But next time they come back to a stream, who knows, in 10 days, 20 days, 15 days, 3 months, half a year, we won't be at the casino. And that's what's important, all right? We will have moved on. So we get to fill this slot with something else. And I do have a lot of cool ideas. But we'll talk about that later. What we're also going to be doing today, hopefully, is getting a sky scale. Yeah, seriously. I think there's a lot of living world in our future, guys. And when I say living world, I actually mean there's going to be quite a lot of opportunity for co-op gameplay with you all. And there's going to be quite a lot of opportunity. I do want to finish round 1 perfectly as well at some point. So we're going to try this. Oh, so now I think I want to calm down. Oh, yeah. Whoops. By co-op stuff, I mean that there's story instances and challenges and story instances that we can do with multiple players. There's squad-oriented stuff as well that we can do with multiple players. There's a lot. In fact, I had been sent a mail from one of you who said... It was actually an amazing mail. It's one of my favorite mails I've got from one of you guys, the community. It's someone who watches Master in the mornings. And it just basically says, hey, WP, quick reminder of some of the stuff you were doing. And basically just pointed out a couple of little things that, you know, we were doing on Master, but it seemed to have slipped my mind. And that's because they totally had. So, for example, that Jinn in the Desert Highlands that we need to kill once per day, the legendary bounty. We've only done that on 1 stream. We need to do that on 2 more. So, that might be something we can squeeze in today. They also wanted to remind me about some other stuff that we had been doing. But, you know, that was really nice. That was cool to think about. And I'll talk more about some other things in a second. So, yeah, let's grab this and then just continue running along. Pretty much my opening spiel. I don't really have much else to say. Except that I should have got a glass of water before doing this, to be honest. Oh, did we manage to get that coin? That was, pretty dodgy the way we managed to get that, but that's fine. Alright, so now we want to go this way. It's just a lot of crazy rooftop jump in here in round 1. I mean, the round ends in another 3 minutes, so I think we'll be fine. The overlays are still a bit wonky, so that's why you're not really looking at them too much. What I'm waiting on is Cho, really, at the moment. But Cho says they got a very busy week at work, so, you know. We'll just cross our fingers and see how things go. Hello, Havoc. Hey, Dead Zealot. Will I be doing guild missions today? Actually, we did guild missions yesterday. Unless you have a magic solution to the issue of world versus world, or the issue of PvP daily missions, no, probably not going to be doing any guild missions because they haven't reset. They'll reset on like Monday, where hopefully we'll be playing Druidstone. It's been so long now. It's been literally what, like 4 weeks now. It's a month, guys. So, I've forgotten a lot about it. So I should probably off-stream play a bit of Druidstone to refresh and go back over the stuff that we already experienced to refresh myself on the game. But if we're at a point where you're having to trust me to off-stream do something to prepare for a stream, we are in for a bad ride, because I often don't like spending any time off-stream preparing for stream stuff. I just want to sort of get into the game again. I want to, you know, think about it again. I've been watching WP on YouTube since Guild Wars 1. First time I'm hearing his voice live. This is so weird. You know what's also really strange? Someone else came to a stream yesterday, and with the exact same sentiment, they were like, "Oh, this is really weird." Something about this time slot, people find it very weird. Anyway, look, it's good to see you, man. It is different. I know what you mean. I've done it many times. I've had that experience. So look, we got 40 on wave 1 there. Beautiful. We're done, actually. We're actually already done. But I'll go forward with this just because of the Hero's Choice chest and, you know, whatever. We might like to do that. Yeah, I've had it multiple times where I've watched like a YouTuber and then you go to see them live and it does feel a bit strange, doesn't it? I mean, that's the magic of what this website is. That's why this website exists. That thing you're feeling there. It's this kind of emboldener to the parasocial relationship we have. You feel closer to me right now than you're not closer to me, but you feel a bit closer. You should do at least one more blitz after you get the sky scale, says Bacon's on mine. Really? We'll do another one? Why is that? Does the sky scale encourage me to come back here? Oh, you just want me to experience it while on a sky scale, right? You just want me to experience that feeling of movement. Well, look, I've got to learn the sky scale controls. I've got to figure all that stuff out, and I've got to max that mastery out. I feel like a bit of a noob, to be honest, because my mastery level isn't very high compared to everyone else, and it hasn't been for so long. You're living in Europe, and you like listening to WP at 10 in the morning while you do stuff at uni? That sounds cool, man. You know, we'll keep it up, and then you'll look back fondly on your uni days as days where in the morning you have a little bit of WP entertainment. Just use your casino coins to max it. Yeah, that's something else. It did flash through my mind while I was talking earlier, but it wasn't, you know, a salient enough point for me to feel I should stop and say. But yeah, another thing is, you know, I could grind another 1,000 for another Choya tonic, but then what I could do after that is keep going, because getting casino coins and just holding on to them is brilliant for spamming out masteries. You can just consume all, you know, if you consume a stack of 250, for example, you get a ton of experience, and so you can use that to quickly finish off tracks. It's kind of like the mastery PvE experience equivalent of saving up your PvP boosters to instant finish a reward track. You guys who watched my stream coverage of the newest release, that was like the beginning of Guild Wars 2 Masters, so it was about 28 days ago, right? When the newest patch came out, the finale came out. I came here to Twitch and I streamed the whole thing. And one part of that stream was I actually I instantly completed the reward track of the episode and was wearing the episode's gear pretty much throughout the whole thing. So by the way, if this gate's closed by the time we get here, which it will be if we've been really fast, you don't have to worry. You can actually go back into it in a minute. This round ends in kind of a comfortable place for you to be able to go back to it. I'll show you what I mean in a second. We're going to stun the Griffin from now on as well. So yeah, you can do that with PvP potions, and you can kind of do something similar with these coins here. The coins aren't even the only one. There's like there's a thing for Corteria mastery as well. But these things aren't important, guys. Experience is super easy to come by all the time. So we'll just get that accidentally and as a byproduct while doing the next couple of master streams. Let me tell you, that's all that's going to happen. The Griffin is kind of pleasant to use in this, to be honest. It's really maneuverable. Now this gate is usually open by the time I get here. It's okay, we can figure this out. It's not a big deal. I mean, this is all excess now. This is all greed. This is all just extra casino gambling. Yeah, so I heard that the sky scale, like little flight path things and the achievements that came with them were bugged and disabled, so I'm not going to be able to play them. The devs just removed them from the game. Hopefully they're looking to add them back, but, you know, I don't know. Alright, so look, once we're on top of this pyramid, and we've got these, we can look to go back into those troublemaker rooms. Can I just say as well, though, actually getting on top of this is a pain in the dick. It's not easy. If you don't take that route and that glide that I just showed you there, and on a Griffin or a sky scale, if you're trying to just climb, it's kind of irritating. And there's water balloons everywhere in this area, so they really inhibit you when you're trying to remount up if, say, you want to swap from your Griffin to your Springer or whatever. We have no gathering tools equipped. So, yeah, it's kind of a real pain. They're on top of it, and they're sort of all around it. Like, there's one over here, and that's one of your main routes to climb up. Alright, so... where are the troublemakers to open this? I guess I can mount up for now, but here's one. We've only got 1 minute to open this gate. I don't know if we're going to be able to. It's kind of interesting to me, actually, that this gate is not opening now. I wonder if that's because the meta event rush is now over and this is not meta event rush anymore. It's a different set of world bosses and stuff that people are interested in. Oh, I do like Sword. Maybe I should play some Sword Weaver again. PvP is what I'm thinking of right now. I kind of do like the weight of... It's weird. I can't believe I like the weight of Sword. I'm actually hearing myself saying that. Here you go. We open the gate. So people are still collecting a ton of coins. What would be really nice to discover here is these new, you know, community events and things that ArenaNet are pushing on the community. And I mean that in a good way, right? Pushing on the community. In a good way, I mean that. What would be nice to discover... Where was the other one? It was on this one. We've got 1 second. We've missed it. If that other gate opened, then brilliant, but we've missed it. If there's like a leftover kind of a residual population that stays in them. So whatever population we're looking at here now, in theory, is a result of the POF just reward change in general, but plus, you know, that added incentive from the meta event rush has got people to learn about this and understand this, and now they're just willing to do it, you know, over and over again kind of thing. That's what you want to see. You want to see all this stuff gets really populated and stays really populated. I have to say, the game really feels like it's in the best of times and not necessarily the worst of times, but also really worrying times as well at the same time. Like, it feels like we're in a really good spot at the moment. It does feel quite a lot like that Aurora situation right now, guys. You know, when season 3 ended and Aurora came out and everyone went back to those old maps, I'm getting that feeling, but all over Guild Wars at the moment. The world bosses themselves are heaving at the moment because of the destabilized magic event. And the Path of Fire events are doing really well. The Heart of Thorns events feel exactly the same as they always do, which is to say that they're populated. I've got all the Living World episodes and all these achievements to do. I have genuinely 3 legendaries I could work on right now. Plus the Sky Scale. Right now, I'm actually kind of keen on getting Verdurak. I think Verdurak would be really fun. But, you know, I got 2 trinkets. It feels like there's a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff. And, you know, if we could have just a little bit more confidence that some of those things they listed out in that blog post, like build templates, were, you know, soon, you know, on the horizon, it would feel very, very good. So, you know, there's all these very exciting... The game is in a very healthy state, a very populated, very... thriving way, it feels like right now, and it's in a state that I'm very enthusiastic about. I don't know whether it's just that, you know, doing these streams in the morning has got me thinking about a lot of areas of Guild Wars that I'd grown to become flippant about. I don't know whether it's that, or it's the new stuff that the devs been doing, or a combination of the both. Probably that's, you know, likely that it's a combination of both. But I feel really good about the current state of the game, so it feels like it's really good. But then the other side of the coin, which is the other thing I was just sort of suggesting, is, you know, it just feels so uncertain. It just feels so scary. Like, what is Season 5 going to be? When is Season 5 going to be? How long term have they prepared for this stuff? Was the plan ever to still be around doing this stuff now? Like, yeah, so, you know, you got these kind of scary, sort of murky thoughts about the future. But I think the game is shining brilliantly brightly right now, as far as its actual state. You know, sure, the new raid is definitely shorter and less impactful for the real no lives, but you know, as kind of an entry level thing to the legendary Divination Saga, I think it's pretty good. You know. And for a player like me, it feels pretty good. We've had such an amazing sling of updates over these master streams, right? Think about it. War Eternal came out 2 weeks later. Well, War Eternal came out. Then we had 2 weeks of Sky Scale stuff. Then the new Trinket came out, wasn't it? What am I thinking of here? What was it? We've had all the meta event rushes and things that have been going on in the meantime. The Path of Fire overhauls. Then another 2 weeks we've had this raid release just dropped. I'm anticipating, and the PvP season just started up again. Christ, if you're like me, if you're anything remotely like me and you enjoy all these different formats, you've had so much to do at the moment. And my guess is that in another 2 weeks, we'll probably be looking at balance. It would not surprise me if next, or maybe even it's next week. It wouldn't surprise me to see one of those like midnight balance previews going up. And I'll be like rushing over to Boots and saying, Boots, we got to do the balance preview. It would not surprise me whatsoever. I know that would be kind of a mid-season balance thing, but they don't seem to worry about that too much in general. Mostly, I'm pretty sick of some of the PvP balance at the moment. I'm really bored and really tired of Soul Beast, Rev, Hollow to a certain extent, but not quite too much. The rest I think is okay, and I'm not feeling very sick of, and I'm not very, you know, grumpy about how many there are. But like, I queued in for a pretty casual early season ranked game on a Scourge yesterday on EU, and I got absolutely trained the entire game by a Rev Hollow duo queue that would, you know, just like Elixir S, push ultra fast right into our backline, i.e. me, and just absolutely annihilate me. I'd get my face put, and it's just no fun, you know, to solo queue in environments like that. And that just brought into very stark, you know, pointedness for me, just how much of that stuff you see lately. I'm well aware that playing as a Necro, you always get focus, but there's a difference between regular focus and playing against competent people that will be aware of you and watch for you and they will train you, and really try hard duo queued Hollow Rev on your ass, bursting you out of stealth when you're solo queue and, you know, everyone else around you is clearly not playing anywhere near that level of try-hardedness right at the start of the season. There's a very big difference, and it's not fun at all. And part of it is obviously, you know, people trying hard and duo queuing together should do well, and they should have strong, you know, strong, high efficacy. But partly it's also the balance of some of these things. Yesterday you duo queued with a support NG and you wrecked people. Very nice. Oh shit. Alright, we're good. Bronze, but we got it anyway. If you missed that if you missed the pinata itself, are you gypped out of the whole chest? Alright, here we go, guys. So, there you go. That's probably the last pinata you'll see die on the stream. Look, we got... No, we didn't get it. Alright, so what we'll do is buy the red Choya. And we'll find a new place to park Azuric, I think. We can work on it quite soon. Red Choya Kite. There he is. There you go, friend. Don't worry, I like the colour red. And we've now got him. So, let's go novelty, Red Choya Kite. Take the hand icon. And there he is. Beautiful. Beautiful. Do you know what I'd like, guys? Do some research for me, chat. Which tonic in the game scales your model biggest, such that my kite is the largest? I'm pretty sure it's the Halloween spider. But my problem is I don't know how to get that anymore, because we did that thing and it's not on the endless Halloween tonic because it just cycles through 4 different things there. Right. Another little unlock. Okay, that's a big moment. I mean, genuinely, listen, if I had an applause emote, maybe I should look into some Guild Wars 1 emotes there. I think I want that. I want everybody to clap. Clap for me. Clap for my progress. Alright, so let's pick this up. Now, over at the trading post. Cheeky little thing that we missed out on before. I'm going to type cold potion. And you'll see here we have an everlasting cold potion. Turns you into an ice elemental. We bought the warm potion and we bought the other potion and all this other stuff a while ago on one of the other streams, but we forgot to unlock that. So that's an easy little tonic that I was just looking at right before the stream. And I thought, oh, well, I should easily pick that up. The tonics that we need now are, you know, the section is slim enough that we can actually start to get a grasp on, okay, where do we get these from, and, you know, what challenges are we going to have to get them? Now, I'm pretty sure this guy is available from corner. Now, let me just check. So what I'm going to do, a little tip again to everyone. If you ever want to know stuff like this, if you're doing a thing like Master, okay? So here's the tonic, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to type /wiki, and then I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to click the thing I care about. You can't out of the novelties menu. That's lame. Damn it. ArenaNet. They're pretty good, honestly. They are pretty good with this stuff quite often. I guess, never mind my tip for that. That works for anything else, though. And I've shown the tip many times on streams. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to buy this from the Bitterfly Bayo in the Domain of Corner. So just before we go to work on Skyscale, I do want to go do that. I do want to grab this because, you know, we're also Choya related, and that's the last Choya tonic, and that's totally within reach. Now that I've started doing fractals again, Karma is picking up all of a sudden. I'm up to 723,000 here. All of a sudden. So, yeah, let's do that, but immediately following Merlin's flight of the day. So we'll give another shot at getting this Griffin. New Hawk Tonic is probably the one that makes kites biggest. Do you think? Well, let's have a look here. New Hawk. We've got lots of New Hawk one. Oh, no, we don't. Why don't we have the second one? Was he from Dragon Stand? Is he Dragon Stand, I think, maybe? You know, this one's better anyway that we have. So you think New Hawk? Oh, we need to actually assign. Let's do the red. Let's do the New Hawk with the red Choya. Oh, yeah, that is pretty big. That is pretty big. That's pretty good. I think I agree with you. Look at that balloon. Okay, now here's what we do, okay? We find a way to break under Lion's Arch. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. We get into the water underneath Lion's Arch. Then we move to the bank or the trading post or whatever. We New Hawk Tonic and equip this. And this will clip through the floor. And people will see just a giant floating Choya randomly in the middle of Lion's Arch. And will be a spectacle. Will be an attraction. Yeah? Alright, I know you guys like that. Look, this is how you impress people in MMOs. Alright, again, I'm not going to try hard. We're just going to... Oh, shit, I can hold this on a mount. Of course I can. Well, that's pretty hype. They should do mount speed kites. So they improve your mount speed a little while holding the kite. Similar to how the dry top sandstorm things are supposed to, you know. So we're going to flap a ton of times. We're going to do this. No, 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 no. Come on. You said you weren't going to try hard, man. If you're going to try hard, at least do well. Oh, really? In a weird way, I kind of like that opening, though. No. Oh, no, no, no. We're getting into the rhythm here now. Oh, God. I'm going to feel like I have to match that other opening, which was a pretty good opening. No, 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 no. Come on, I was clicking it. All right. To be fair, my cursor was not in the correct position for that. Let's just go. Honestly, people are going to get so tired of this because... I just feel like I'm doing this one thing every day. It's worth getting a good time out of it. We're only 88 best. I think 88 is what we are, isn't it? Alright. That double flap there, that's pretty good. I fucked that up. I straight up failed the course there. I just straight up failed it. I did not have the height that I needed. Something about our intro, I think. Oh, come on. I didn't realize that auto threw you in the Griffin either. That's kind of nice. I just straight up failed that course. Something about my intro here doing the double kind of dip, I think. Kind of messed up the height pickup. We have to drop lower here. This is a bit nuts. Okay, the double flap. Another double flap. These pillars. Come on. We clipped the bottom of it. We did clip the bottom of it. 25,480. That's still not very good, is it? Yeah, that's still not very good. I don't know. I got a really good opening on that previous one there. We're still just looking for a few hundredths of a second. Alright. So, that's fine. Let's go to here, here, here. No, no, no. As always. Alright. Okay, so, I want that tonic. So, to get the tonic, I guess, I need to do a heart. To do the heart, I need a character that's been to the map. A character that's been to the map. I'm not sure which ones I actually have, to be honest. Let's go on lists. And we'll just finish it off. If you guys want to come do this heart with me, you're more than welcome. It's from the Bitterfly Bayo, so we're going to go hang out with the Hecate. It's the Hecate that give us the Dance Choya. Hopefully Liz has actually been there. This might be one of those places where I've never actually taken her before. No, here it is. Let's go help the Hecate. 39 characters. Yeah, I do. I've got a lot of characters on my account. 39 isn't that many? I do think it's a lot. I think it's wrong to say that that's not a lot. Just because there's a certain classification of player like me that's, you know, just been building up and up and up. It doesn't mean that that's not a lot. It is a lot of characters. I mean, the cap has not changed. The cap is still like 60 something, right? So the fact that I'm halfway to the cap is a bit crazy. You know, that was some insane stuff, to be honest, to be close to that thing. In the past, people who had like account cap on all their character slots. Character slots is one of those weird things. I can't remember whether I actually included it in the rule set for Master anymore. It would have been going by on everything. But Master is supposed to be like, get the ultimate account in a way, right? And so all the account unlock slot, like getting all account unlock slots, getting all bank slots, all collection depth upgrades, all that stuff. You know, they're all account improvements. And maybe you include character slots on there as well. Maybe as a part of Master, you have to unlock everything. And unlocking everything means getting all character slots. Interesting, we got trivia though. The cap is actually flexible based on there's some weird circumstance where if you bought certain character slots at a certain time and you claimed certain editions of expansions or something, and then you got like your veteran bonus or whatever, you can actually get one more character slot over the cap than most other people if you've done the right, you know, selection of things. It's kind of a weird situation. Maybe someone can expound on that further for me. The wiki definitely explains quite clearly that little bit of trivia. It's kind of funny. Do I have more than one Guild Wars 2 accounts? I do. I have about 4. I have more than that, actually. I have at least 2 free-to-play accounts, but one of them I cannot remember any of the details for, so it doesn't really count. But I do own one out there. It's there somewhere. I have a free-to-play account I do have access to. And then I have, like, 3 fully paid accounts. One of them is Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire. One of them is Heart of Thorns only, I think. They're both at different levels of mastery acquisition and stuff. Crucially, for one of the projects I'm doing on YouTube, one of the accounts has no masteries whatsoever. And has no progression in expansions whatsoever, despite the fact that I own the expansion. And that's very important, because if you want to kind of document what it's like to play Guild Wars 2, you need a fresh account like that, and the devs don't sort of allow players to go back. We don't have to get into a big discussion about account binding philosophy. I'm too tired for it. But yeah, that's kind of a big thing. These mites aren't giving me credit, are they? No. So, rescue captive Hecate captives in the hills. Bring firefly bits to hunters. Fight invading Choya. Predators. Hello, apprentice son. Oh, look at him! Oh, he moves so fast!
Millen said you might bring food back to us. Is that true?
Not just now, but I'll see what I can do. Oh, look at that. I didn't realize they'd start so small. Do we get food from basilisks? Oh, you can kill Inquests as well. Maybe I'll go into the Inquest area. You can probably swarm them. There's a really nice event where you have to defend the village that you basically just get the heart for free. That's such a clunky aspect of Guild Wars that for all these years the devs have not figured out. So if you're wondering what my build is here, this is not really a build at all for open world. This won't be making it into the open world video series. This build is essentially open world traits. So Soothing Power, 10-man shouts, Gale Song for like open world bosses. But then the gear is half Minstrel. And then I put on my legendary armor here. It's half Diviner. So Diviner is one of the new stat sets that I hadn't really engaged with because when it was added to the game, I hadn't really been playing much endgame. It's a really strong one. It's essentially like Commanders, but better. So Commanders was the old... Oh, if you want to be kind of like Zerk, but also have concentration, go Commanders. But Commanders also has toughness on there, and, you know, that can take tank aggro and stuff like that in raids and whatever. And obviously, the defense attributes are not efficient, min-maxed attributes necessarily. If you're in groups with really high damage and really quick break bar damage for various formats. So, you know, Commanders has some slight downsides to it in theory because of that toughness element on there. Diviners doesn't have that. Diviners, look at it. It's power, it's ferocity, it's precision. So Zerk, but concentration's on there too. Not only is concentration on there, but concentration is one of the major stats, which is huge. The fact that that gets to be a major stat, it means your boon duration goes out the ass. So it's just a very, very, very cool stat set. So I've swapped my legendary armor over to it. And I'm also trying out durability runes. So durability runes are from Auric Basin. You spend the currency on that map on them, and what they do is they can I deposit into this guy? Take these firefly bits and share them around. There you go, lovely. I've actually never done that mechanic on this heart. Durability. Their boon duration, first of all, which is good. Not as much as Radiance, unfortunately. And Radiance also gives you the aura duration, which is really nice. But in exchange, you get a new T6, which is to grant allies prot and regen. Fine, whatever, that doesn't matter much. But also resistance for a second. Now, that second doubles if you have enough boon duration. So you're going to splash out 2 seconds of resistance every 20 seconds around you in fights. And if you catch a sand squall with it, or if you're playing on this trait and this gets caught, this trait triggers at 90%, right? So what will happen is if you get struck, you'll immediately resist and immediately bounce it in theory. I don't know what order, I don't know what the priority order is in Guild Wars 2, whether a rune triggers first or a trait triggers first. I hope the trait triggers first, the rune trigger first, but I don't know for sure. But you know, if you catch that, then you're actually bouncing 4 seconds. No, your Sand Squall increases by 4 seconds all on its own. So that's 6 seconds of resistance at least, maybe up to 10 seconds of resistance all on your own. 10 seconds of resistance on a whole team is enough for your chrono to eventually hit it with a signet of inspiration or whatever. And you can like start feeding resistance in. Basically, I really like the chrono support Tempest combo. Like the boons are just mental. But there's no real resistance in that little grouping there. There's no resistance in that pairing. So I like the idea of durability to just throw a bit of resistance in there as well. And that's every boon in the game if you can do that. That combo will give you every single boon in the game. And for really high durations. So, yeah, that's what I want to play with. And I'm going to try that tomorrow. So that's what my build is right now. It's not actually anything good. Necessarily, I mean, I don't know. And I'm still on Minstrels on the other half, just because whatever. This is actually way too much boon duration. Because when I get into Fractals and drink a potion, it's just going to go too high. So, I don't know, we'll figure something out. Sky Scale today, yes, indeed. We're just going to get this reward from this heart, which I've just got there. Let's go look at this. And yeah, this is wrong. This Hearts just suddenly being invalidated because a single event comes up. There's just a very weird operation at play there. It's one of the fundamental little things that they've just not worked out with Guild Wars. Thanks to you, we have food and hunters to hunt for more. Okay, good. There you go. Endless Choya Dance Tonic. Look at how much this stuff costs. All the minis from these seasons are going to cost this much. Look, here's a Hecate as well. We'll buy both, okay? So this is 100k karma and 175k karma. It's so much stuff. It's also a lot of inscribed shards. Oh, wait. If I do this, I'm not going to be able to get the sky scale, am I? But master. But Guild Wars 2 master. Must collect things. I can get these. Oh, why don't I have many inscribed shards? What is this? I've only got 8 over the level. I'm glad I thought of this. Alright, everyone wants the fucking sky scale. I'll get the sky scale because everyone thinks that you have to tunnel vision the sky scale. So let's do the sky scale. I guess that was a waste of time. Whatever. Alright, let's go back to Gorick one final time. You ready, guys? Back to the Sun's Refuge. I guess those will get another day. We'll do the heart another day. Oh, I should have bought the bundle. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay, guys, chill out. I'll get the bundle. Don't worry. Oh, that's a nice little... Is that a Choya emote? Which streamer is it that's running that emote? That's a cool emote. Alright, bundle of inscribed shards. And look, shard hoarder, we get a chest as well, and we get even more. So look, 6. Ooh! 6? That's so not worth it. I'd rather just get the 6 from the reward track. I mean, jeez. Okay, back over now. I do kind of think that the sky scale doesn't have enough Dragonfall content. I mean, I know it makes you run around Dragonfall a lot right at the start, but well, I've not really been back there since. I mean, we've got a whole load of weapons to get from that map. We've got a whole load of armor to get from that map. We've got a lot of stuff to do there. That might be most interesting content for people. I don't know. People love to see the new stuff, so maybe we go back to Dragonfall for the next few streams. As soon as we got the sky scale, that's the sky scale project done. That's the casino project done. Those were long ones. And I'll probably ease off showing so many races. We can filter in a whole new selection of things. Oh, here it is. And, do you know what I had remembered?
I haven't seen her this animated in some time.
Shit. It's following me around. It's big, and it's following me around. And I wanted to locally record that. Damn it, Gorick. Why? Why didn't you do a thing where I can press F? And I'm not able to locally record right now. Apparently my game's been a bit slow. Or my PC's been a bit slow. Not game, sorry. My PC's been a bit slow. Come on. Record. Record for the video. I have a YouTube video to make on this. Oh my god, it's being so slow. Why? Did NVIDIA friggin' break? What are you doing? What are you doing, NVIDIA? Turn on. This is pretty cool though, by the way. By the way, while we wait, this looks really cool. Preparing to install? What do you mean preparing to install? You are installed. Why did you uninstall? Do you know what? I hate seeing Windows updates. When I turn this fucking PC on in the morning and it said, there's a Windows update. It's so annoying. I didn't ask for a Windows update. You're just slowing me down. You're just doing shit that doesn't matter. Alright, whatever. I'm not going to be an old man about this. You never turn your PC off for this precise reason. I mean, if I really cared, I could do a lot of things to stop it, but ugh. So useless. It knocks you down if you're not on a mount when you approach. Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Re-enter the instance without mount. That's a good point. Hold on. Couldn't I just do this? I hope this doesn't break. And then we can get the audio and we can get the full thing. If this friggin' thing now resets my graphics drivers, it's going to really tamper with the stream. And it's going to be super annoying. Yeah, release notes. Press Alt and F2 and start using Ansel Photo Mode in Tropico 6, Mortal Kombat 11, Soul Calibur 6, A Plague's Tale, and Edge of Eternity. All those games are games I play. That feature is a feature I use. I suppose they did squish some bugs, so hey, whatever. Alright. Can we please record now? We can, we're recording. Alright, good. Okay, let's go on in. Oh, I like the person who left the comment calm down and then put the ancestor's visage, you know, tranquil meditation emote. That's good. That works well. Yeah, I guess I am still in squad. I was trying to not leave squad, but I guess I will. We'll get the stupid pink cat off of the screen. Yeah, someone in squad even said that. Alright, so riding sky scales, we move along. We didn't ding anything, so I have to assume that we'll still be looking good. Alright, Goric. I feel like I'm quite good friends with Goric now. I really do. I think Goric's a pretty cool NPC. They've used him a lot. He's one of my favorite new ones.
Well, would you look at that? Perked right up. I haven't seen her this animated in some time.
Oh, look at the little knockback. Look at that. That's Twitch chat adding quality to the YouTube video right there. Good job, Twitch. Hello, grown sky scale. You're looking pretty majestic now. Hello, Goric as well.
I was wrong. There's nothing ailing her. She just missed you. And quite a lot, it seems. That's all the evidence I need.
I really wish this thing was male. I don't know. Is that wrong of me? I just really wish it was male. Why have I got South on Baron still on this? Alright, evidence. Since we've been working with the fledgling, it's become apparent that the bond between the two of you isn't just strong, it's exploitable. I mean, imagine a kind of way of saying that. Okay. Look, this is why I like Goric. Go on. She'd be happier at your side, that much is clear. And a sky scale mount would provide a sizable advantage in the field. Such arrangements would be mutually beneficial. What do you say? Mutually beneficial meaning for you, for the sky scale, and for me. I'm investigating some anomalies, rifts in reality from our battle with Kralkatorrik in the skies all around Tyria. Once I've crafted a saddle, you could get used to flying together by hovering up to said rifts and securing the data I need. A saddle? Yeah, just gather this list of materials and bring them to me on the cliffs northeast of the Fortress of Jahai. I'll whip up a saddle for you and we'll be in business. Oh, cool. So we're going to the Jahai Fortress. Here it is. So, purchase from... Oh, well, what does Goric say now as well? After you've gathered all the materials for the saddle, meet me northeast of the Fortress of Jahai. I love how much detail there is here and how much effort the devs have put into something that is, you know, post-story, if you will, and how confident they are that their player base is actually going to keep playing even after they've seen the final cutscene and get all of this stuff out. They know that mounts are that powerful of an incentive for people, that they can be manipulated into that. And I think that's really good. It's nice to finally see really well, not finally, but it's nice to finally see high-quality content outside of the main story to be appreciated by so many. I actually have confidence doing this right now, knowing that I'm not the only one who's done this and that people are missing out, that a ton of people have done this. And a ton will continue to over the years. Someone playing all the story in sequence in a few years' time, you know, they're still probably going to stop and do this. Particularly if they've just played Path of Fire and got access to all the other mounts as they went. Alright, so let's see. We just buy this from Priory Historian. Somewhere in the Crystal Desert. That's it. Just somewhere in the Crystal Desert. Purchase from Ala at the Chalen Docks. Purchase from Ethel at Althema Sandswept Isles. Nalara at the Allied encampment in the Domain of Corner. Trader Hyacinth. Are these the generic vendors on each map? Kinda not the Forge. Or are they heart vendors? Since that guy's at the Forge, I'm guessing they're not all heart vendors, because they're probably all under the same umbrella, sort of. And purchase from the traveling Elonian trader at Pact Command in Dragonfall. Okay. And what did Goric say? After we've gathered the materials, meet him northeast. Okay. So, it's just somewhere in the Crystal Desert for sandpaper. Priory Historian Elisa. Well, hold on. It should just give me the icons, shouldn't it? When I leave this, let's go back to the casino. The casino, Amnoon. It's interesting how I think of the whole city as a casino now. That's a very Kanak sort of obsessed way of thinking about things. So I'm looking at my minimap right now to see if anything's herded to the edges, like icons. But nothing has, it seems. Elisa is in Crystal Oasis. First NPC, Orimamba Sandsea point of interest. Here's the Sifuri Sandsea, the Orimamba Sandsea. So we're going here, are we? Liz hasn't really explored the desert much, I have to say. Oh, look at this raptor. Look at this. I think I'm genuinely going to be happy with this raptor than I am with the Sky Scale. Look at this freaking thing. Look how cool we are on this. This is the Asura Mount. This is the definitive Asura Mount. And you guys could not have made a better decision when we made that choice on that thing before. Come on, WP, you know who Elisa is? Do I know who Elisa is? I do vaguely recognize the name as I read it off the page there, but I actually don't know what she's prominent for or about. I can't, nothing, if I think of traveling merchant mechanics in this map, nothing springs to my mind. When I got the Raptor mount for the first time, I couldn't stop running around with him. That suggests to me that you've moved on, though. But there is no moving on from this mount. What's this one called as well? I wish there was a more prominent way I could instantly see on screen, like exactly who my friend is that I'm riding. This is the Primordial Raptor. Once you go Primordial, you never go back, man. So she's traveling across all the Path of Fire maps. She sells the Bounty Hunter armor. Ah, well, I don't know this NPC then. I don't know the Bounty Hunter NPC. I got all that stuff from PvP. I have all the Bounty Hunter armor, but I never did it from Path of Fire. This is a mechanic I genuinely am not familiar with, that I don't know about. She's at the point of interest. The point of interest itself. Oh, at the Retreat of the Resolute? At the point of interest south of the thing. Hold on, just 1 second. Let me get on the big bunny for a sec. Or my Aztec kind of bunny. And let me grab this Vista. We're going to watch it as well, guys. We're going to watch it. All this reminds me of Zeghai of the Lost as well, for what it's worth. Who we will get when it dings 1/4 Don't worry, guys. Zeghai is not on Tyria right now, but we will get him soon. Well, I'm not flying on my Sky Scale. I don't need the Raptor anymore. Come on, man. I hope that the Sky Scale doesn't completely power creep all the other mounts. Maybe that would be okay if this was the end of Guild Wars or whatever, Guild Wars 2. But if the game and the story is to go on for years longer, what on earth are they going to do? What do you think, guys? I love this expansion, man. I want a PvP map using this asset pool. Please, ArenaNet, please. Look at how good these assets are. Look at how beautiful this area is. Look at this. Look at these rocks. Make me a PvP map in an area like this. Look at this. Make me a PvP map using every unique looking area you've ever made, because there's billions of them. And your PvPers are missing out. Okay, this is just a priestess of Cormyr. But there is a box of fun someone's dropped, or a bobblehead laboratory. So we'll see what we can do. This is going to be a bit of a nightmare to get over that cliff. I was just going to spring her up there, but here we're doing stab and reflect because he was charging up. And I think that's like a projectile-oriented stun when a Wind Rider does that. We haven't actually taken any damage. These guys seem to be pure projectile-based. Oh, there we go. So one of them hit me a little bit there. Look at all of these Wind Riders. This is insane. We got a Reaper with us. I hope that the timing isn't super tight on this, by the way, that she's about to leave or some crazy stuff. Alright. Is this her? Yeah, here she is. Hello. I don't think I've ever spoken to you. How are you doing? I've been watching the steady flow of refugees through the Southern Way Station. It used to be a steady flow of traders before the Forge put up that blockade to the east. Sad, isn't it? Are you also here to escape from the Forged? Well, I'm a historian for the Priory, and we haven't had access to this region in quite a long time. There's a lot to see and document, and it's up to me to do it. So, you're just looking around and taking notes? Thanks for making it sound so dull. But no, it's not all I'm doing. I've also been collecting ley-infused sand. If you've gotten any from hunting bounties, I'll trade you for it. Ley-infused sand? I want to study it. There's a strange ley-line activity around here, and prolonged exposure to it seems to change the structure of the sand. There are also bits of other things I can't identify yet. So, is the idea that if she's in the Priory, that suggests she's got serious Cortirian ties, right? And yet she looks quite decidedly Alolan. So is the idea she's one of these sort of Ossen Quarter characters that's super keen to get back here? So this sand, I don't think the entire period of the expansion I've ever spent any of. Yeah, look at this. I have 1,415 sand. Is that a lot? I've never spent any of this. Cache of the Traveler. Double click to claim your reward. How many can I take? Oh, I can just buy as many as I want. Someone's going to tell me that that's totally not worth anything. Let's try this here. Let's try 10, I guess. 5k karma. 500 trade contracts. 50 ley sand. Okay, bounty hunter coat recipes. It's 19k each. But let's have a look here. How many recipes do I need? Because I don't know whether I actually have any recipes on my account. Yeah, look, see? Oh, so she's just selling the chest piece at the moment. I guess when we catch her on another map, she'll sell another piece. So yeah, let me buy the other two then, I guess. This is a bit more palatable. Three recipes at once. I think this is better than what the devs often otherwise do, where you just get a brick wall of recipes. We'll get those, just in the interest of getting lots of recipes. Again, I don't know whether I really consider that a part of Master, but it seems like a good shout. So, the Cache of the Traveler just seems to be giving me unidentified gear of various varieties. Not worth, feels like. Not worth at all. And there's a tab here. Tales of Alolan? Tale of Loyalty. Oh, I have done this. I have seen her before. I've done this. I've got one of these before. But what are these all about right now? And what's the sky scale thing? Oh, no, here. It's here, isn't it? It's the sandpaper. It's at the top. So, there you go. All right, the sky scale saddle. Good on ArenaNet. Look at this. Look at this. Getting players to come to this. It's sort of like, hey, remember this mechanic, everybody? Remember the bounty hunter armor? Remember what these currencies are? Remember bounties? Do you want to go for this stuff? Remember, guys? Remember we added this to Path of Fire? It's fucking good. It's solid. It's 10 out of 10. This is exactly the kind of thing that I want to see that they do. This is 1,000% the kind of thing that I want to see them do. That's brilliant. And it's so good, it even caught me out. It even taught me and reminded me of stuff. Now I'm invested in getting all those recipes. Don't spend trade contracts if you will go for the legendary ring. Is there going to be a lot of trade contracts on that? I mean, I've got a lot of trade contracts. I've got 8,000 of them. No, I do not have the funerary armor from her. I already explained this. I got that from PvP. I'm pretty sure you can get it from PvP. It's, no, there is one set that you can't. Did I not just buy that from the Tomb of the Primeval Kings? You need 25,000. I think I bought the funerary armor from the Tomb of the Primeval Kings then. I don't remember coming to her a ton of times. Oh, funerary. Yeah, okay. Alright, right. Also, my inventory is fine. It's very clean. It's mostly just auto-depositable and consumable stuff. It genuinely is a pretty clean inventory. You buy it at the tomb, but you need to unlock it by coming to her. What, once? How does that mean that I've come to her lots and lots of times? And that would be in the forefront of my mind. I already said on stream that I have come to her before. A minute ago. I do remember when I came to her when she was in the Riverlands before. But a single visit does not mean I've interacted with the mechanic a ton. And I know a lot about it. No, Legendary Ring does not need 25,000 trade contracts. You can use mosaics. But do you have the option of spending 25,000 contracts? Yeah, these are all 32 slot bags. Yeah, all of these are 32. This is the biggest inventory you can actually get in Guild Wars. 320 plus max account slots. Humble brag. It's not really my intention there. All right, anyway, cool. So we got that. Let's continue going. Let's spend our currencies. As far as I know, this should all be very smooth. So, Alale at the Chalen Docks in the domain of Istan. So the Chalen Docks is just the entrance. I'm hoping this is like the big vendor on every map. Because I remember there's one of the docks. I remember there's one in the forge room. You do have the option of spending 25k contracts instead of any mosaics. Oh, nice. That's a good sync for those as well. Why is it the only thing I heard about the Sky Scale is that it took too long and it cost too much currency? This is really well done. What is this? Used to capture memories of battles against notable enemies. It's locked. Available for purchase after unlocking Vision 1 Awakening achievement. Unlock Vision 1 Awakening by purchasing a trance stone from any Unbound Magic vendor. Here's a trance stone. Unlocks the journey to the legendary trinket Vision. If you already fulfilled certain requirements, they will be retroactively granted. Oh my god, Vision. There's Vision. Whoa, and I've got quite a few steps done there. And now we want to buy this, right? It's going to cost a Vision Crystal. 3 Genelai Electrum. Nice. And some filigrees. It's weird. This is basically a crafting menu, but they put it on... Like, it's 4 items. This is a craft. Why is... This should be under dueling, shouldn't it? You don't know what you're getting yourself into? No, I don't. Anyway, we're here for the sailcloth. The sailcloth is 250 Kralkatite, 250 Volatile, and 5 gold. Pretty easy. Done. Next. Let's just move on from this vendor for now. We have Mini Aurene, by the way, and we have the Mini Branded Wyvern. So that's good. By the way, I don't know whether I consider the max level Karmic Retribution and Empowerment on every map a part of Master. I kind of do, to be honest. I'm surprised these are so weak on this map. But Istan is like one of the maps I've played the least of in the whole expansion. Omakhan Leather. Purchased from Ethel. So, yeah, let's just go through the season, I guess, right, guys? This is going to feel pretty good, I think. That's the gold sink I kind of expected to be bigger than it was. Gold ore, that is. Oh, that's why. Nocta, was it you saying that my investments might have paid off? I see. Okay. I like Genelai Electrum as well, and I think that it should be in use a lot more than it is. Maybe just because I'm nostalgic about the Genelai agents, you know, obviously. Where's the vendor this time? Oh, I guess the thing's just obscured because of the bobblehead inventory. Which I think is actually there to help me, but there you go. Alright, so Omakhan Leather. So, 250 Diafluorite. Volatile Magic. Boom. The Omakhan Bandolier. Available for purchase after completing lasting bonds. What comes next? This is like the bag from this map or something. You can get a single 32 slot bag on this map, I think it was. But here, if you look at this map, I've got max level Karma already, and this is the top tier experience bonus. It's just I'm not gonna get much value out of this at this point, I don't think. What else we got? Diafluorite, the multifaceted earrings. I really should pick some of those up. For people that don't know, I'm really multifaceted, so that's why I need those. Just so that fact is out there now, alright? Just so that everybody's 100% clear of why I personally need those. Damn, you got all 32 bags and you didn't do the free one. Not only that, but one of my mule characters has got a bunch of random ascended bags on it as well that haven't been like crafted all the way to the top perfectly, and they're all just a bit messed up essentially. The spare parts thing on this map, by the way, I've got to do a lot of work on. I kind of wasted a lot of money on bags, is what I'm trying to say. Extra sticky tar. What's the tar for? For a saddle? I guess it's all for a saddle, right? So, every map is going to ask me for 3 Genelai Electrum. So, it's actually 3 times 6 for this, right? And it's going to be 60 filigrees. And it's going to be 50 times 6 for this. And it's going to be 6 lesser vision crystals. So we can look at that later. I'm surprised that Vision's already available. I thought that Vision was totally locked behind the Sky Scale. But maybe it was that I always could have began Vision. It's just, Sky Scale is something I'm going to need to do as a part of the adventure. Anyway, so there's corner, straight up to the Jahai Bluffs. This was such a cool fucking combo of maps. Such good work ArenaNet had been doing. Now, where was the vendor on this one? Isn't it a Yetendi village? I think it's a Yetendi, isn't it? You need to buy 6, but you can just pick them all up from a single map. Ah, nice. Okay, so they're just, yeah, I guess it's the same item, the same recipe every time. I'm curious why they're not selling a recipe for dueling, though. Oh, maybe it's because dueling 500 isn't in the game, and realistically they'd want it to be... Well, but core tier legendaries are only 400 of their specific discipline. Anyway, so here we want a stack of Mistonium. The Lubinella cadentis silk. I don't know what either of those words are. What's Lubinella cadentis, guys? Someone teach me something. Here we go at the start of the day. Help me do some learning. Lubinella cadentis. What is this? I remember on one of your YouTube rants how you complained about the weird branded scar ending that we never got to visit. I don't think it's very nice to say that that was a rant. I don't think it was a rant at all. I think it was a clear and specific thing I said that I still stand by, that it's unfortunate we never got to go there in the end. Okay, so yeah, the Jahai Bluffs are done now, and so up to Thunderheads, and then we just got Dragonfall. Thunderhead's so weird being all the way up here, honestly. We want to go to the Forge also, so it's top left. It's an extinct species of spider. Oh, it's the spider in the story. I see. Is rant the wrong word for it? Because I do agree. Rant is like, if someone's ranting, it's kind of directionless. It's fueled more by emotion than clarity. It's perhaps a little bit rambling. It's undirected, impromptu. And I don't think that that's necessarily true of a lot of what I do. I always feel a bit miffed when I'm described as ranting. I don't feel I rant that often. Sometimes on streams, I definitely do. But in YouTube videos, I don't know. Alright, Daljamor Rivets. Now, these I can get behind. Gotta get behind some of that Daljamor manufacture. This one we're so clear in the lead of. It's unreal. So we can pick up the Rivets. And then finally, off to Dragonfall. And it's a pack command. Where do you think Season 5 will take us in the first episode? I don't know. I want to do a video about it. I wanted to do a video about it like 2 weeks ago. And then I wanted to do a video on the Sky Scale a few weeks ago. And I wanted to do a video about the previous wing a few weeks ago. And now I want to do a video on the new wing as well. The videos are properly stacking up right now. My open world thing I want to spend time on. So... this is interesting. I guess I'll save my currency for now, just because I think that the new legendary is going to want a bunch of those again. And that might not be the NPC I want. Does each of these characters sell the thing I'm looking for? This I want to buy as well, for my home instance. Maybe I should just pick this up right here, right now. This is for Master. And this is for Master. And this is for Master. Oh god, there's a lot I want to do. This mysterious band could only be shaped by the chaotic energies of the mists. It's not a very inspired description, but there it is. You had the right vendor. Was the vendor I wanted the other one? They shortened the time Augury Rock stays open, so you should do that Glint's Prophecy video. Yeah, the friggin' Flameseeker Prophecies video I really should get on as well at some point. Alright, here it is. The Mist-Infused Saddle. This is it. So it's, they're asking for a stack, obviously. So we can pick up the saddle. So Sky Scale Saddle acquired. So there's a lot going on here. Now, Vision. How soon do we want to do Vision? That's the question. I think not that soon. I think what I'd rather do before all that junk is just get some of these other unlocks and have fun with some of these other things. So let's come back here and let's buy the home instance node for 10,000. Did that auto-consume? Yes, it did. It did auto-consume because in my chat box, it's saying here it's been consumed. Let's pick up the Shadow Warrior Combat Tonic, which is badass, by the way. And I should perhaps be a little bit disappointed I hadn't done sooner. So let's go novelties, Shadow, and let's play with this for a little bit. And then let's get the Shadow Warrior Mini as well. And there we go. So that's this map's, you know, general stuff done. I guess we can run with the Shadow Warrior Mini as well. Sub off Farron. New kind of entity. Here you go. Don't you come here with me and my son again. Don't speak to me. Don't you ever speak to me and my son again. There you go. I got it. I got it eventually. All right. I hope people cringed at that. Meet Gorik on a bluff to the northeast of the fortress of Jahai. All right. So the fortress of Jahai, eh? So we're going to be up here somewhere. Which waypoint? I guess we'll go to Yatendi. Good attempt at a Mei. Thank you. Oh, did I really? Did I just mess up? I need 10k volatile magic for the sky scale? Do I really? In which case, yeah, we're not going to get it today because I just spent it all on the home instance node. Do we really need 10k for the sky scale? It's okay, I can get more because I can just consume the my Thunderhead Peak currencies. I genuinely could give myself another 10k right at the drop of a hat. I could do that easily. And if you can consume Kralkatite ingots, I mean, I'm laughing as well. I've got so much the actual grind in theory that I've done on this season is probably really up there compared to most players, just because I've honestly spent the past year doing nothing, almost nothing but reward tracks for this season. It's just nearly all of them have been Istan reward tracks on Kralkatite ingot bars. So, you know, the amount of Kralkatite that's gone into all those ingots, which I've got over a stack of now, plus all the Astral and Celestial stuff I've got, is kind of nuts. I know that for Vision you need to have lots of those unlocked, but it's all already done on my account. I think Vision will be quite quick for me, because I've already got the Elegy and the Requiem stuff, I've already got Dragon's Blood weapons, I've already got Astral and Stellar stuff. They don't even ask you to do the hard stuff for Vision, which I think is kind of bullshit, to be honest. The people I play with were like really miffed that Vision asked for as much as it did, I think. But, you know, to me it's a legendary, and I think the devs chickened out, to be honest. They should have gone heavy with it. They shouldn't have been asking for Stellar stuff. They should have been asking for Astral stuff. Because it's a legendary, alright? It's the legendary of the season. Get people to do the hard stuff, but, you know, maybe I digress. It's kind of a lot to ask for people who have just made Exordium, and then they just did all this for the sky scale, and then they had the trinket, and now they've got the ring as well. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a really fantastic and wonderful place for the game to be in. But it has put a lot of people who are used to being very wealthy and used to having a lot of stuff in the awkward position of suddenly realizing, oh, they have to play the game a lot. But you know, that's what it should all be about, man. It's almost like reclaiming a little bit of that 2012 legendary feeling to me, and I'm very, very up for it. This is the ugliest sand jackal in the world. Look at this, guys. I actually care about this. Look at this. Look at what I'm doing right now. I'm having an out-of-body experience this very moment. Okay, I guess I do want the Bandit Mystic. It's the only skin I've got that's not too obtuse. But we do not want that pink. I mean, that looks pretty gross as well, honestly. Looks like it's been coloured in with
Were
crayons
you
by a little
successful?
girl. Was I successful? Was I successful? Was you successful? I was. Here you are. Wonderful. Now, if you just give me a moment. Just a stitch here, a rivet here, and done. Goric? Ah, fine. Here you are. Get our young friend ready. Ooh. Ooh.
Ah, that's quite a handsome saddle if I do say so myself. Now then, let's see how you fare in the air. Ugh, I rhymed. One of the reality tears is just above us. Take your new friend for a test ride. I'll be observing from here.
I feel like he's me. That whole ugh, I rhymed thing. I feel like Goric is me. Goric, seriously, man. Let's go get a drink or something. Alright, well, look. What we do first of all that's really important is get our kite out. Obviously. Okay, so what does he want me to do? Just take it in the air? Shit, I don't remember how this thing works though. What am I supposed to do? This feels good though. The moment has arrived. We are on our sky scale. This is actually a sky scale, guys. Would I have a drink with myself? I mean, that's like one of the most narcissistic things, you know? Like, I am the perfect mate. This is essentially what we're getting at there. Let's see what it's guiding us to do. Meet Goric on a bluff to the northeast. Yeah, I know, I did it. Our icon wants us to come over here. So do we want to land over here? Are we happy? Oh no, I don't want to get killed instantly. Oh, that's a bit sad. Alright, bye-bye, Skyscale. You dead now. Because the Harpy Dragon Hunters. See the rift in the air? Go to that. Oh, there's a rift. I just can't see it because that random player is sitting on it. And, yeah, I can see it now. Alright. Maybe they weren't always. I'm now stuck in combat, so we either spend 1,000,000 years killing all of these, or we drop down and break combat on the way down and go back through the Jackal Pool. Well, you have to raise a new sky scale now. Yeah, right. Oh, we're going to have really ugly combat music now. There we go. Maybe I am a little bit blind, I have to say. It is pretty obvious there. But the maps are full of this stuff. I'm conditioned to not give a shit about this anymore.
Now then, let's see how you fare in the air. Ugh, I rhymed. One of the reality tears is just above us. Take your new friend for a test ride. I'll be observing from here.
I guess I just felt like what they wanted me to do was cross the gap. Upgrade your sky scale with the Rift Repair Mastery.
She's flourishing. She must love science. Or you, I suppose. The other tears in reality await. By the time you're done, the two of you will be in utter synchrony. Oh, before I forget, take this whistle. Since she ran away, I've spent a great many hours training her to respond to it. Good luck to the both of you, Commander.
There it is. I thought this was disabled. Oh, snap. So I've got to do all these now to get the sky scale. All of these? Seriously? This is huge. Why is the only story I heard about the currencies? Why did I not hear about all of these? Holy shit, that's a lot. Help your sky scale get accustomed to flying with you, and help Goric investigate various tears in reality that have appeared in the area across Tyria. It's a world tour, it's pretty fast. It's a 10-minute job. Is it really? Because it sounds like I'm going to have to waypoint to every map, and only once I'm on the map will I see exactly where it is on the map I need to go, and then go to another waypoint, and then travel there, and then get on the sky scale, and then fly up into some remote place, then ding it. And it looks like I have to do that about 40 times. That doesn't sound like 10 minutes to me. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. But okay, alright. So, let's just keep going, I guess. I'm willing to do it. It's the last box, right? So, yeah, let's go for it. Get a mastery point out of it and everything. Investigate reality tears with your sky scale in the domain of Vabi. See, it just says Vabi, so, I mean... Vabi's a big-ass map. And the world map, before you get on there, doesn't show you the stuff. So where do we want to guess it is? I mean, we're just going to do a lot of guessing. Okay, there's 2 of them apparently on this map. There's one up here, north of the city of the garden, and then there's one. This is kind of an odd experience getting on my Griffin now and getting on my other mounts. It's kind of like they're in the process of being replaced. It feels like there's another strange element of mounts that I guess all MMOs struggle with. But Guild Wars 2 really feels like it does because they're so good with the mounts, because the mounts have so much personality and they feel so, you know, impactful, and they mean so much for the environment and the traversal, and they're just brilliant, basically. It's that, you know, the fantasy of being a guy that has lots of pets and beasts is kind of something that's kind of reserved just for one class. Generally speaking, the Ranger. And yet everyone kind of has that now. And so now the Ranger feels like it doesn't have that thing. Okay, so this flying lesson is teaching me that I can raise up and I can slowly descend. Sorry.
At the end of every day, be sure to ask yourself, would I be more productive if I was no longer living?
Let me turn that off because that's going to be really irritating to be interrupted. So, what's the deal? I got there, didn't I? So we lift up, and then once our bar is empty... You need to hover next to it. I was hovering on it, wasn't I? And then the pop-up came up. Oh, this meter that's charging is not... Oh, the meter that's charged, because I'm looking at 3 meters right now. I'm looking at a dodge meter, I'm looking at the sky scale juice meter, and then obviously the skill charging. So I just need to stay with it. Okay. Alright. So that's 1. Next, investigate reality tears in the Sandswept Isles. So let's go to the Sandswept Isles. Yeah, everyone's being particularly knobbish today. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like the name of Sky Scale Juice either. But I guess they never came up with a better phrase. I don't even know if a juice appears in game anywhere. I don't think I've seen it in game anywhere just yet. Okay, so we climb on. So looking at the mini-map, I don't really see where it's showing. Oh, it's all the way up. No, that's a memory fragment. It's not a memory fragment that we're looking for, right? How do I get off the wall here? I am looking with my eyes in game. Just because I'm not instantly finding it doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying myself and looking around in game. You don't have to be a sarcastic twat about it because I'm not instantly doing the thing that you've already done and is now natural to you. Can you chill the fuck out? God, I don't know what's so irritating about that right now, but Jesus Christ. See, the only thing I can think right now is that this would recharge my juice, but these are going to be one-time ever collections, right? Maybe it's not a memory fragment that we're looking for, right? Yeah, the sky scale cannot maintain the altitude. Yeah, I did used to be chilled, and then people just go on and on and on. I don't know. I genuinely can't see this one, though. I genuinely can't see this. And now I'm extra annoyed that I can't see it because people are being so fucking impatient. I don't know. And so the mechanic is I can just hover forever and just look around, right? Like... Maybe it is this? But why would it be a memory fragment? We're not remembering anything, are we? And how would I even get up there? What's it trying to teach me? To dive up twice? It's definitely not that. That's way too high. It doesn't show up on the map. Oh, the memory fragments are for vision, are they? Okay. Like, we've got 3 different kinds of floating orbs in the area here. We've got a memory fragment up there. We've got the unbound magic. I don't know how to get off of walls comfortably either. Someone says, look for my apple. Oh, it's like way over there. Really? How am I supposed to see that? Someone's got a mentor tag. He said, look for my apple. Oh, yeah, it's all the way. Okay, so we actually have to fly quite fast sometimes then. It's not like precise little things next to trees. Okay, thank you for that. Oh, yeah, and then we have to wait near it. Is this giving me juice being in it? No, it's not. To get off walls, just stop pressing forwards. Right. Okay. All right, so next, investigate tears in the domain of corner. All right, let's go this way. WP, did you enjoy that latest raid in regards to lore and aesthetic? Yeah, I did. I mean, it would be hard not to. I think it was pretty nice. I've already talked about it a lot on other streams, to be honest. People keep asking for my opinion on it. That pretty much tells me I should really do a video on it soon. But yeah, it was nice. I liked it. I mean, what wouldn't I like about it? I really enjoyed the way that the POF stuff looks. I think the devs did a good job. So let's go to the Archdrock farmlands with the subject material. I think it was fun. Obviously, it could have been a bit more extreme, and they could have, you know, put more, you know, money or whatever, or resources into it. Like, I think we clearly saw they did with the Mystic Forge. But what they came out with was still very, very fun. My favorite boss was probably the Earth one. I think the Earth one was pretty good. Alright, let's climb... Oh, wait. Left. Yeah, the Earth one was good. And I'm hoping that the CM in the Earth one is really fun as well. Kadeem seems boring for the pillar guys. Yeah, maybe. I like the idea of using Sand Swell or Portal or Shadow Step on a thief to grab the orbiting things and run them in yourself. I really like the idea of that. I think that sort of doing that stuff efficiently is quite exciting to me. Okay, so we're up. I can see that there's one over here. This guy's standing next to this. I really like the idea of these each being a puzzle, and now I've got the sense of how far away they might ask me to fly. I'd be pretty game for it, but I don't know. We might get spoiled in each one. Again, I need to wait in the goddamn thing. That's my bad. Don't drop too much, Mr. Skyscale. Mrs. Skyscale. You wish they would have spread the bosses out more. Adashim in Guild Wars 2 is only half the size of it in Guild Wars 1. Well, yeah, I kind of agree with you there, but on the other hand, it is one of those things where, like, the way they would do that is lots of, like, between encounter exploration and stuff. Let's go to the Desolation. But people don't really like that much. Like, and I say people, even myself. I'm going to go to the Bone Strand, because I think it'd be really cool if they put one at the top of the Bone Strand, like, flying back towards the city. So we're really high up. Hell, even doing that on a Griffin could be fun. But they never did like a race or anything like that. Let's just see. There's not one at the Bone Strand. Oh, no, there is. There is. The roof. So there's multiple each map, but you can only do one. Yeah, so, like, if I think about Wing 1, that feels really weighty. Like, all those little events and all those little encounters between the bosses. You know, it takes so long. Once you beat VG, it takes ages to get to Gorsable. Or it feels like it takes ages compared to some of the other wings, you know, and all. Like, compare that to Wing 2 and how quickly you get to the Bandit Trio after killing Slothazor, you know. Or pretty much any example you like. It takes, and to that, it kind of doesn't feel, I don't know. So, as much as I'd like to see a lot of Adashim and have all the little puzzles, you know, and the number puzzle and all stuff like that, I'm not sure it's actually the best of ideas. So, by the way, it doesn't matter how high I raise, right, at the start. I'll always be able to, like, I'm not I'm not losing horizontal flight distance by choosing to climb super high. I'm actually gaining horizontal flight distance by choosing to gain a lot of vertical height, aren't I? It's kind of a shame that I only have to do one of these. I'd love to do 2. Investigate reality tests with your sky scale in Istan. Yeah, and there's the question of the dialogue as well. I don't know, like, that's a whole other dimension to raid design that I think the devs have to be very acutely aware of. And that's, how does it feel on the initial playthrough with no one knowing the story and if they're actually interested and paying attention to it? And how does it feel once you've got these bosses on farm, so to speak, and you're pushing through them over and over and over again? Is it annoying to sit through and wait with all the dialogue, you know? They've got to fight. I think sometimes they've been very good, though, about, like, having it skippable and rushable. So I can't really see here, but I know that if I look at the minimap, I'll see it herded to the edge, and it will point me to it. So it's down here on the tip of the island. Well, that was weird. I kind of wanted to immediately get on the sky scale there because I knew that it would have got me up this cliff, but instead we're stuck with a griffin still. I have a question. I have a not that simple question. Will next season bring another elite specs? Beck, it was always an expansion to give us elite specs, but if you want to add like 200 hours of gameplay, I think they should. Look, just because you think it will add a lot of hours of gameplay doesn't mean that they're going to do it. The best way to fund and support and actually figure out elite specs and to package them up and profit off of them is to put them in an expansion and theme them around the idea of the expansion and tie it all together. And I don't think that's changed at all just because you think that 200 hours will come out of it. So, and I mean, that's such a strange number. What does that even mean? Where's that coming from? But, I mean, I don't deny it would be a lot of hours, and I don't deny that elite specializations are exciting, but they've always been exciting ever since the concept was first introduced in Hearthstone. That doesn't mean they'll randomly start coming to level up. I think you might expect them, if you're gonna go into that discussion and say, oh, they're gonna come in season 5, it would be something about the fact that we haven't had a double season since elite specializations got implemented, so now that we're having a double season, maybe there's something more to it. Alright, so are these designed such that I can always see them from the starting position or not? Because you would think they are, because I'm going to feel pretty punished to fly off here. But maybe that's a part of the flying lesson to make me relaxed about, like, because this is not a griffin. Oh look, this is just climb up. Okay, so we're on the wall. We let go of forward to detether from it, but we don't have enough flight juice. If I use this bond, I do get more flight juice. Oh shit. Does it go away? But I never climbed enough. Now we've landed. My instinct is to press space to climb, but that's my dodge, right? So that's why I'm doing the weird dive. This is actually a really good step because this isn't just a time gate or whatever, or arbitrary pressing F. I'm actually learning how to pilot this because my instinct is to press space and it shouldn't be in my... This is actually good. Investigate reality tears with your sky scale and Thunderhead. And is the idea that we're investigating or we're fixing them? Where do you think they might put one here? I've got to assume high up. I'd love one in the forge room. Enjoy, Orphic. Do you think they will ever add a new class? Yeah, they have before, the Revenant. That was them adding a new class. I think now that the roster's rounded out, so I think that's it. Someone said it's below the airship. It looks like there's one above the airship as well. And it looks like there's one all the way over here too. I wonder if someone like did a guide on Reddit saying, here's the fastest ones to do. People are that greedy and that hungry for this that it's like you got to get the fastest one. So directly above. And mind you, we are under an airship right now. I take it back. We totally are. This area makes me think of AP of the day. And we get that gorgeous music. So I can rise all the way up here. Let me just see. I want to learn how this works. If I bond a vigor, It's slowly dropping, and we're now in debt until we go back. So the Bond of Vigor is a little bit of a bonus, and then obviously the Bond of Faith would be even more of a bonus. So I guess we just have to wing it, right, guys? We have to wing it. Oh, here it is. It's over here, right? If they ever add a new class, I think that one class should be a mimic class that can wield the weapons of one class and the utilities of another, as a way of bringing dual specs from Guild Wars 1 with a Guild Wars 2 spin. Jerry, I think that's an interesting idea. I think it's got some profound implications, but I actually have another proposal for you. If they were going to do secondary professions as like a headlining mechanic for an expansion, secondary professions come to Guild Wars 2. If they were going to do that, first of all, there's a lot of questions whether that's even a good idea, because who are you trying to market to there? Old Guild Wars 1 players who are also not very smart because they think that just the bullet point means something just because it's familiar to them when it might not necessarily be a good fit for the sequel in the first place. I don't know whether it's really got that much pull, especially as the years keep going. And there's, you know, less interest, less weight that the Guild Wars 1 name has. You know, on Guild Wars 2 players. But if you were gonna do it, if you were convinced it was a good idea, I think the best way to do it, actually, is you can swap a single specialization with a specialization from another class. You see this bit of UI up here at the top? Imagine I can tab. Like, left is a tab of, well, actually, tabbing might not work. But yeah, like I can click here and maybe on this rectangle, maybe I can tab through this. There's LE specializations, and then I can click and there's the warrior and necro and whatever. Maybe you can only subclass in your own armor weight, and maybe you can never subclass the fifth line. So if I'm a warrior main, I can never take arcane because, you know, it's got the attunement oriented stuff and it doesn't matter. If I'm an LE, I can never take discipline because I don't weapon swap anyway. Maybe you can do that for like access to 6 new passives, right? So you can take Grandmaster traits from another class or something, like, maybe. And then you could do, and maybe similar to how when you pick up an elite spec, you get a new classification of utilities. Maybe the same thing happens there. I think that's the most realistic way they could do it. But already, if you think it, even just for a little while about it, you realize that there's a lot of work that would go into that. And a lot of very profound, crazy balance unwieldiness. I think the odds of anything even remotely near that system are near 0. Because I think it's questionable how worthwhile it is to the game. And then I think it's questionable how, like, marketable it is. Like, you can put something worthless in the game, but if it has marketing power, it's a worthwhile endeavor, right? Because ultimately, patches that are good for the game are only half the battle. The other half the battle is convincing people that it's fun at the door. Maybe it's not in the end, right? I mean, elite specializations are a great example of that. When they add a new batch of elite specializations, they're going to be power crept out the ass. Here's where we're going to. They're going to be super power crept, and that looks really exciting. And ooh, look at all the crazy, wow, stability and Aegis on an auto attack on Firebrand. Whoa, you know, and you think it's fun. It's not actually fun at all. It's terrible for the game, and the balance goes to shit, and then it all has to be nerfed out over however long. But it has marketing value. You're going to see that these things look overpowered, and you're going to play it, right? So that's a good example there, I think, of sort of two halves to any update. For example, the sky scale here, maybe they completely mess up the implementation of the sky scale, and it doesn't actually afford you any new movement, and it looks rubbish, and there's all these things. However, no, I take back the looks rubbish, but it looks good, and you've got that fantasy of being able to ride a dragon now, the next mount. Oh, we can ride a dragon. That's worth putting in the game anyway. Even if the mount itself was crap, it was worth putting in an update just because it sounds exciting to people, and it drums up enthusiasm. Deserve it or not, it gets the enthusiasm, and that's ultimately a perk. You know, I think there's lots of little situations like that, and so the multi-classing thing you could say is the same. Oh, you know, it's going to be brilliant because, okay, so I can. So it really doesn't matter how high I go. My range is always the same. So the multi-classing thing is like saying, well, look, it sounds exciting, so do it. But does it even sound that exciting to most people at this point? And remember, I started this whole thing by saying I actually kind of agree with you that I've thought about it a lot and I think it'd be interesting, but I'm not convinced. Yeah, Tengu in a new race is like a billion trillion times more exciting, more plausible, less unwieldy. And I say that fully aware of how insane the idea of adding a new race to the game is. I've done multiple videos on the subject in the past, and they're all pretty miserly. They're all pretty pessimistic. But yeah, new Tengu is like top. New playable race, and if it's the Tengu at that, is sort of top of my list for a big Cantha feature, followed closely by stuff like fishing and much lower on the list, boat combat, home instance, decorating, personal housing. Sorry, that's what it should be called. It basically would just be home instance decorating, but personal housing. So this is here. So this is interesting. So this one's actually teaching me a lot, because what I think I need to do, okay, is I think I need to land. I think I need to come up here and land and regain my juice. And then I need to come up. Hello, Kralkatorrik. Regain my juice. That's a bit of a weird experience as well, like this, because they've done so well tying this into being a story thing. So now if I dash, do I actually get to go a bit further? Yeah, I go in debt there. This is really weird. This is really weird. Alright, we made it somehow. Why wasn't I in debt as I climbed that last bit? Oh, what? Oh, this is a vision thing. Target a memory fragment and channel it to retrieve one of Aurine's memories. Oh, should I do this? What?
Getting him back to Tyria.
I'm opening a portal!
Better make it a big one.
Wow. So Vision gives you cutscenes from the story. I think that's brilliant too. That's another day and another story, but that's very exciting. They've made a lot of good moves here. A lot of efficient moves. Getting really high value out of the assets and the cutscenes and the stuff that they build. Like, that's so important to me. That must be so gratifying as a dev to realize that, you know, people are going to get to see your cool cutscene at least more than once, you know? This is really good. I really like that idea for Vision as a concept, but I guess I've overcomplicated this and I've gone too far. This is not what the flying lesson wanted me to go to. If I hadn't bought those things, would Vision stuff not be triggered right now? Anyway, I think my key bindings are a bit messed up as well, because I don't have a descend bind. Shouldn't there be a descend bind? Isn't that going to be my swim down? Oh, I do. It's X. Okay, but it doesn't swim down with X. And I don't have a back pedal. Does backpedaling fly you down? Maybe I need to assign a back pedal there. Anyway, if it's not up there... Yeah, and I see going on the airship would have been a good idea there. Call me, I see. It's the same as the drift button on the Beetle. Ah, I see. Alright, there you go. I should have thought of that. And actually, I remember that from when we were playing Dragonfall before. Bit stupid of me. I remember now, yeah. Okay. Alright. Yeah, it's gonna take me a bit to get used to these controls. But where do we fly out to? That's the question. So here, I want to check something as well. If I fly up, max height, and now I go all the way over here, all the way down, right? Now, as long as I don't keep flying after my bar's fully recharged, I can always... Oh, no, I can't. I can't go all the way back up. But I can get back to my original height. I just can't get back up to the peak. Okay, but so I am freer than I think I am. These mechanics... Oh, it's all the way over there. Look, I see it. I see it. Is that it there? So maybe that's why they're sometimes kind of hidden. Because the idea is to just stop me being so scared and risk-averse with these mechanics. So let's just see what the extremes are here. Can I get back to where I was? I'm never going to get up there, am I? What if I dash, dash? Oh, I can't get up there. You also can't dash up. But that's fine. Okay, so we got that one. 10 minutes. Who said this was 10 minutes? We're not even halfway yet. Investigate reality tears with your thing in Dry Top. Cool. Where's a cool place in Dry Top? Oh, I'm totally going to the Vine Bridge. Once you have the mastery, you can boost from walls and it gets crazy. Yeah, I've been hearing over and over that it sounds like it really is going to be... oh, we can do it during a sandstorm, guys. This is going to be cool. It's up there. I might be able to... Oof. If I'd managed to get on that, that would have been such an extraordinary, like, perfect demonstration of how crazy these mounts are. And you just don't realize, but you come back to a map like Dry Top, and the fact you can just instantly climb onto this shit, it's crazy. These mounts are insane. Somebody said something in chat. Where was it? I would like, it's from Oisek1, said, I would like the next expansion to block usage of gliders and mounts until you do 100% of story and some items, etc. Like in World of Warcraft, where you get a new continent, you need to buy items to fly again. Now, for what it's worth, I think that's good design, and I think that's the better way to do it, and I think that that's healthier for the game, and I'm all for it with you. However, this is Guild Wars and ArenaNet, and they are just so... They don't like doing that. Well, even if it's good design, they don't... I don't think they have the same beliefs. I don't think they have those philosophies. I don't think they care about that. They really don't like taking shit away from players. And also, even that stuff aside, following a precedent that WoW is known for... Ooh, I think that's another extra thing where it's like, I think they really try to avoid... Basically, the shallowest mindset, the most basic thing, Crystal Oasis, is to be upset at that. If you're a random player and you earn all your mounts and you earn your gliders and oh no, now I've lost them and it's invalidated. You know, if you're one of these people that spends about 5 seconds thinking on the subject and that drives your entire emotion and understanding of the game, you're not going to like it. And ArenaNet kind of built themselves around people like that. And they kind of just told people like that if you're upset instantly, then you're right to be upset, and we're gonna bend over backwards so you don't have to have these experiences. That's kind of what Guild Wars is about, right? It's about where other MMOs do that, Guild Wars won't. That's kind of what it's about. And so, as much as I think it's what should happen, and as much enjoyment I think players would get out of the game going back to a more basic movement environment that they build up again, as much as I think fresh starts are extremely powerful things, I don't think ArenaNet believes in them. I don't think they will do fresh starts in that way. I want to climb up now and see if I can be saved from this cannonade. It can still projectile me in the sky. It's actually kind of cool. Aerial combat could be a really interesting thing. So, yeah, you guys in chat can riff off of that a bit further. And by the way, it's not that I think that ArenaNet's incompetent or whatever. I think it's just that they're going on as they started out, you know. It's definitely not the expectation that Guild Wars will take your mounts away or that it will take your gliders away. I don't think it is. All right, off to the Silver Waste now. It's a bit of a weird leapfrog zigzag we did there. The problem is those are things attached to your progression after you hit 80, so taking it away would feel odd, especially since they are something you already earned. I like looking forward to new things for an expansion rather than having to re-earn what I already had. Exactly, like, and what goddamn it Leary just said, that is the prevailing wind. That is the main opinion. That is the attitude that everyone has, really, when it comes to Guild Wars. And I disagree very deeply with it, and I don't feel any recognition in people who have to cling to their accomplishments. I really don't. I think that fresh starts and do-overs and opportunities to re-experience things you've already done but under new lights are amazing for developers and for players. I think that it's efficient gaming in terms of making the stuff and getting high value out of the stuff that you've made. And I think that just because you're doing a slight twist on something you might have experienced before isn't necessarily bad. But I'm in the minority when it comes to Guild Wars. So I don't know. I don't know what they'll do on the next expansion. What they'll probably have is these enormous, unwieldy, crazy maps that are fucking insane in scope, right? They're utterly layered. They're beautiful. They're enormous, and you're going to sky scale through them in about 2 seconds, and you're going to griffin through them in about 2 seconds, and you'll go to the next map, and you'll be done, and you'll be on the forums about a week later saying that the expansion was too small, and the game will continue to be mediocre. Even though, okay, the experience of the game will continue to under-deliver what it is actually offering. Let me put it that way. Because I don't actually think Guild Wars is mediocre. I actually think it's a beautiful, incredible game. I just think the way that they package and orient the stuff, they don't get as much value out of what they have. And that's what I think will happen on the next expansion. I don't think they'll take things away. But yeah, the idea of like you get map comp and then it unlocks the mounts for you again, I think is kind of fun. But it's ArenaNet. They would do that account bound. They would have the first time you do map comp or the first time you beat story on any character, all your characters get it account bound. And when you're in that situation, it's like, what's the point in doing it in the first place? To me. Because it's just going to be a facet of the game that quickly evaporates, as so many do. Here, it's this one here. We're pretty goddamn big here, by the way. Heart of Thorns was vertical, Path of Fire was horizontal. Clearly, next expansion is diagonal. So, it should all be roller beetle races and slopes, right? It should all be about going really fast, going down slip and slides and stuff. Off to Diessa. Isn't that fine? As long as you have done it once, then they have achieved what they want with the maps they make. Then it is optional how they want to play on the other characters. My problem with it goes very deep, and it would take a long time to talk about, and it's a conversation we've had 100 times. But it's essentially that... So, I buy your expansion, and I experience the true map, the way it should be played, the really nice version with the non-power crept movement, and the pace is really good, and the new masteries are really thrilling to me because they're worthwhile because I don't have all this other stuff. I play the map in the true spirit, the actual map, the really good one, the best foot forward. I have that experience. Now you've unlocked mounts for me on all my account on that map. So I spent 5 hours, let's say, doing that map under that rule set. I'm now going to play your MMO for the next 3 years. I'm going to spend hundreds of hours in that expansion. And none of those hours are the best experience I could have had. None of those hours are the interesting gameplay. None of those hours are the best foot anymore. It's all a mediocre subpar thing because I, as a player, have too much opportunity and access for efficient movement. And players will always prioritize that over their own long-term enjoyment. So what was the point in the first 5? They quickly narrow down into just this tiny little thing that doesn't mean much, you know. Now, if it's one of your earliest experiences in the expansion, you probably will cling to it to a certain degree. But the reality is that you just don't get what you could have. The best experience should be the experience people are continually having, not something that quickly rushes off into distant memory. And that's what account binding does. Every instance of account binding, that's what it does. I'm looking very closely here. I keep thinking, oh, what if it's on that and you have to do something crazy, but it's obviously not going to be. Or maybe down that well. Let's try over here, because this is an interesting feature at least. I like the kind of option here as well, though. I like the sense that you might have already watched somebody's YouTube video where they were getting all these, but it's not going to be the same as mine because I've chosen different spots on the maps, you know. And but you've had your own adventure, and now you can come and watch me do this, and I'm doing different ones to what you did. Yeah, I did almost get trebbed, yeah. Let's go towards the courthouse, maybe? Didn't see anything at the courthouse. Oh, this one's a little bit tricky. I'm just waiting for chat to start freaking out and throwing shit at me because I haven't found it already. But let's see, maybe we climb up this tree. And it's hiding in the tree. I don't think it's going to be hiding in the tree. What's the one direction I haven't really flown to much yet? I don't know. How about zones restricting mounts? Like, say, the thunderstorms that strike you, but it will dismount you if you try. Well, look, there's a lot of different ways they could do it. I think that there was one global solution the devs always could have embraced, and they didn't. But it should have happened right when Path of Fire came out. I think there should have been a resource implemented in the game. First of all, I think there should have been itemization and saddles attached to mounts, so you could gear your saddles and improve them, and there could be like legendary saddles and stuff like that. First, I think there's that. But there should have been a resource, a mount resource, that essentially was the idea. The flavor of the mechanic is this, that the mounts you acquire in the desert are acclimated to the desert. And even the living world ones, right? But obviously, if this had been implemented, the living world ones could have been tailored and tweaked a little bit for this all to be, you know, work well. But the mounts you're getting in the desert and the new expansion region are acclimated to that area of the world. And so when you're in Path of Fire maps and you're on a Springer, it's fine. You can do the Springer anywhere. All the maps are designed for the Springer. All of that's good and fun. You obviously still have the mastery system and the account-bound nature of that ruins a lot of the fun of the maps and the progression that you get with mounts on that. But whatever, right? At least, so everything's as normal when it comes to Path of Fire maps. But if you take a Springer out of the desert, if you take it into the Shiver Peaks, or if you take it into the cooler climes of Ascalon, all right, or the more humid areas of the Maguma jungle, anywhere else basically that's not Path of Fire, if you take it into old content or even new expansion content, such as if we go to Cantonex, if you take the Springer out of the desert and the expansion related areas to the desert, it will ride with you and it will do things with you, but it won't be happy about it. And so it's on a resource. You can only spend so much of that resource before the skimmer won't want to work with you anymore. And so then it comes at a cost. Maybe it's a monetary cost. Maybe it's a time gate. People hate time gates, but I do think there's value in time gates and they're worth exploring. So you can only be on a Springer outside of Corteria maps for a certain amount of time, outside of Path of Fire maps for a certain amount of time every day. And so what that does is you don't even have to have the resource be very severe, but people are very loss averse. So knowing that there's a resource, people won't flippantly and wantonly get on their mounts all the time. There will be a little bit more cautious, and so then you preserve the spirit of those other areas. And once you've got that resource in game, if you implement it in a scalable way, you can have it be a very forgiving resource when it comes to Corteria areas, or quite a punishing resource when it comes to going to new expansions. That way you can still be on a Griffin in the new expansion, you can still be on a Skyscale, but it's going to be for a very limited period of time, and you're going to have to experience those maps the way that the devs want you to under the new rule set and the new masteries and so on. There should have been a resource on mounts. And again, I don't think Daily Time Gate's very good because it actually leads some awkward stuff where people can like cheese certain things in the new expansion, but only because they spent their resource very carefully that day or whatever. I think it should have been tied to gold, whatever the resource would be, like hunger or, you know, just happiness, some kind of, you know, thing. And yeah, I think that would have worked very well, but you know, they didn't do any of that stuff. They just said, oh, it would be really cool if you get to fly them in Corteria. And I mean, it is cool, right? The surface of it is cool. Right, so let's go. So yeah, that's probably the 5th time I've mentioned that resource thing. Make it use Eyes of Cormyr. You're joking, right? But you actually could use some of those new currencies and economies from the expansion on stuff like that, right? So you give them use. If you tied it to Eyes of Cormyr, but flavored Eyes of Cormyr something else, you know, Mount Energy or whatever, I don't know, Mount Nutrition. If you did that, you would be connecting that via gold to the trading posts, combating inflation. You know, what's the downside? You just got to design the user interface, and you got to introduce it to people in a way that's intuitive and there's clarity. And as well, a lot of you guys are going to be attacking this from the perspective you now have as a player who's enjoyed the luxury of Corteria mounts all this time. But if at the outset they hadn't declared you could have Corteria mounts, there was no expectation in those early days that they had to satisfy that. It was the same with Gliding and Heart of Thorns. You now believe we're in a world where it could be no other way, but you don't understand your own psychology when it comes to the fact that if, as the expansion was coming out, they could have quite easily gone on a stage and said, we're adding mounts to Guild Wars 2 with Path of Fire. Oh, and by the way, you could even take them to Corteria for limited periods of time. You'd still shit yourself and be happy and excited, even though they've added the limited period of time there, because ultimately there's still a revelation to you that you can go to Corteria. It's still exciting, it's still marketable, you're still enthusiastic about it, and you just wouldn't have imagined it any other way. You wouldn't have imagined that it could have been even freer and crazier. And the number of people not buying the expansion or whining on the forums that it's not the implementation we ended up getting in this reality is you know, negligible. There's just better ways of doing things. The more I ramble to myself, the more I'm convinced. This is a rant, by the way. This is a rant. I'm sucking at this, by the way. I'm willing to accept some help from the stream. Somebody's put a tag up. Let's go. Oh, it's hiding behind this tree. Oh, I came so close to this on so many occasions, but it's behind this tree. Alright. So we're halfway. I do want to get this today. We're going to get this. Investigate reality tears in Fireheart Rise. I did sort of go south a couple of times, Belst. I did sort of. I just thought that I'd seen it all. I obviously hadn't. Right, let's go over here. Also, I wasn't paying too much attention by the end there. Like this right here, if they'd done a resource mechanic properly, I probably wouldn't be on a Springer right now. I'd probably be experiencing Fireheart Rise as actually intended and needed. And by the way, a resource makes that feel extra special. If I make a jump like this, it feels extra special knowing that I've chosen to sink some mechanic into doing that, you know? It's not just fucking freebie break Guild Wars 2 Fiesta all the time. It's, oh, I deserve this. I've actually, you know, I've made a decision to get access to this right here, right now. You know, and that's a valuable experience for people as well. There's a degree of control and fun that actually comes out of that. Rather than just pure, bland, free access to everything all the time. And look, some of you are going to be thinking, oh, it's just the casual mindset versus someone more invested in the game. It's not. You can get very casual people to enjoy games on a deeper level if you build them in the way that will have them engage with it like that. What I just said was pretty much tautological, but hopefully you guys get what I mean. Maybe I'm a bit arrogant to presume to know what people think more than they do or whatever, but I think that probably it's not arrogance so much as is I believe people are very malleable. I think people are very people can exist in a variety of states where the exact same thing they might really love if they're introduced to it in a certain way, but then they might really hate if they're introduced to it in the wrong way, you know? I think people cling to first impressions. I think that people think their opinions and feelings are these like inflexible things when they're actually not. There's actually a lot of capacity in all of us to either love or hate something just based on those formative experiences. And I think it's the job of a video game developer to sort of work with that, you know.
Search the waters for castaways. Some are likely injured and will need help getting back to shore.
The skybox on this map is gorgeous. So if I was ArenaNet and I was hiding a thing, I guess I can just rise, right? And I'd do it in the dungeon. That would be pretty crazy. My opinion is obviously the only correct one here. Let's just okay, so I'm gonna try and learn from the previous. I'm gonna do a fly to the north and see if I can spot anything as I move. I don't appear to see anything here. So then we'll do one to the south. We'll go to the extremity of each cardinal, okay?
Search the waters for castaways. Some are likely injured.
It's not going to be interesting if it's just near the floor though, so that's why I think north is a bit weird.
I should try it.
Can't really see anything here. So let's go back. They were playing with training and taming mechanics with baby foxes, mini puppies, heck, even cats. Maybe they're features for next expansion focus. I don't know whether they'll do more. I mean, there's a bit, essentially just because of the mount thing in Path of Fire, there's kind of a lot of animal focus already going on. I don't know whether we need all that. There we go. We found it. The technique worked, guys. Also, I quite distinctly remember that Guild Chat stream, and didn't they? It was sort of almost like a pet project for one of the devs. Okay, so I actually missed this. I actually fucked this one up. That's kind of interesting. Let's go back then. Oh, hold on. Can't I just land and then... I don't have to glide from their starting place. Am I using the right word when I say glide? Probably not, right? It's just fly. That mastery prompt before I have access to the masteries is pretty janky. Off to Dredgehorn. World Tour is definitely a good way of putting this.
Some are likely injured.
A pet project. Yeah, no, but it was kind of more of a personal thing, wasn't it? I think. Well, we can use whatever language we like, but we can try to be accurate in the things we say. Climb this now. I'd be happy with no more masteries giving new ways to movement and they came up with something else. But so if I like your proposition. I think that's an interesting thing to throw out there. The question is, and this is beautiful. This one's really good because you get just above the cloud layer. That's a nice feeling right there. That's really cool. It's a detail on the map you never would have extracted without this mount here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I figured it was going to be fly all the way down here. This feels good here as well, you know. And in case anyone's thinking it, you know, even with a resource mechanic, they could still implement the exact same thing I'm playing right now. The acquisition of the mount doing stuff like this that bypass a resource, you know, that's arbitrary to do. All of this can be accomplished even with a resource thing that disincentivizes to some degree Corteria mounts and future expansion mounts. And future expansion gliding and all those kinds of things. Oh, they want Lornars twice. No, sorry, I'm in Dredgehorn. not Lorna's. Oh, Lorna's could be amazing. I'm gonna go north because I want like a high point up north, and I want to like fly down. Yeah. So if they don't do movement, and I think movement is very cool. I think all the coolest masteries they've figured out so far are movement ones. Then what? They have to do combat. You find that a lot of the combat ones just haven't worked that well. Like the chuck like armor or whatever, right? Chuck acid armor, wasn't that a thing? Or when Heart of Thorns was coming out, they were talking about like masteries that allow you to break the shell of opponents you're fighting. On paper, I think all those masteries are fun to me, to my instincts, but I don't know. They definitely seem to have been very shy from combat-based masteries. I think they're just struggling with masteries in general. Do you know what I'd like to see? Scrap it. Scrap the fucking system. Redo it. Change the way points are acquired. Change the way the number is next to our heads. Change what they mean. Change a whole lot. Just fucking rip it up, root and stem. It's not working. It's hard for you to develop shit for. You've managed to slip by it utilizing mounts this expansion, but let's face it. It's not been an easy aspect of Heart of Thorns. Make a character bound at the end. Make a character bound. Come on, do it. Make a character bound. If I whisper it enough, it will happen. Look, I'm well aware of how obnoxious I must sound, and I'm being. For people who hate the idea, it's so annoying. Breaking the mastery wheel. What do you think about mount tiers and upgradable mounts? I think that's an amazing idea. Like the idea that, like, you get a Springer, and then it can jump a certain height, and then later, like maybe you like train it or you upgrade it somehow, and then it jumps higher. That sounds really cool. It would be a shame if they added that, but then they made it account bound, so everyone forgets that's a part of the game and asks me questions like, should they do upgradable mounts? That would be a shame. But I don't like losing my progress when I alt swap, so make it account bound. Why are we walking? Do we want to try in the cave, maybe? No, it's got to be somewhere high. Or maybe it doesn't have to be somewhere. Oh, it's... Oh, my God. It's right there? Really? Oh, no, no, okay. I thought the waypoint was where we started the flying lesson. Okay, so it's behind the waypoint. I guess I should just train myself to look at where other players are, you know, that are gathering these things. I wasn't throwing shade at the specific person who asked that question, by the way. I was just trying to make a larger point about the value of account bound. I was trying to illustrate to you guys some of the damage that account binding does, which I think is perfectly actually shown. But the mere fact that someone would ask me a question like that is showing you where the game is losing value on the stuff that it's developed. The devs have done that. Upgradable mounts are awesome. It's a cool idea, and it's actually in-game. It's a fundamental pillar of what the mount experience, but you don't think about it because it's nothing, because it's attached to an account-bound mastery system that's devalued by too heavy experience acquisition and a point system that means nothing. But the idea of maybe I will indulge your question a bit further. I'll give you the benefit of you know, taking you very seriously. Let's say that this person knows all of this, and what they're actually proposing is, what about in an expansion you can upgrade your Springer? What if the next expansion is still Springer as a mount, but now it's like you can jump even higher maybe, or the Springer has another... And I mean, that's a nice idea. I think the problem though, that the devs are rapidly running out of, you know, unless they can invent the fourth dimension in gaming, okay, I'm not sure how many more directions and velocities and whatever flavorful shake-ups they can move us in at this point, you know. I'm really not. I see one mount. I see space. Oh, no, I see space for two mounts now. One is an underwater mount. Give me like a shark jet ski kind of thing, please. Like that thing in Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. That'd be amazing. And the other is like a multiplayer mount. you know, where people can ride side saddle and stuff. But that may never happen because movement isn't reported to the server very regularly, I think, and stuff. So basically, I think I think they're going to run out soon, unless they invent the 4th dimension. I mean, you might argue that's VR. We should have virtual reality mounts, right, guys? I don't know. It's they're running out of space. Unless the new concept of these new maps is that they're utterly gargantuan, such that a full Springer jump, as it now is, feels like it's just kind of nothing. But the engine's going to struggle with that. I'll tell you how they do it, right? Here's your solution. ArenaNet's got a problem. They need new mounts. They need new movement. They need to just more. Bigger, faster. Look, that's what the people want. We've got to do it, right? So here's the big problem. How do they do it? Because the maps themselves can't be big enough to support anymore. They're already pushed to the limit from Path of Fire. All this engine upgrades and optimizations for, you know, a platformer game they might even be looking to move away from? No. Here's what they do. The next expansion's maps are the same size as the Path of Fire maps. However, they are arbitrarily blown up on the world map so that they look double the size. And in engine, and what happens when you go into them is every character's model is shrunk by 50%. And all move speeds and skills and stuff, it's all reduced by 50%. Alright, now that's a lot of work, but it's a bypass, okay? So now we're just smaller, okay? And thus, you can bring people back up with the thingy. There you go. There it is, everybody. That's how it works. Also, while you're at it, shrink all the... What you could do is you could make the character models bigger but keep skill effects small, and that fixes visual noise problems. Thinking outside the box, guys. Think about it. Alright? You got to think about the tricks. This is very cool, by the way. I don't know where it will be, but I like flying around here. This is nice. Yeah, there's no way that they'll get that to work. I agree. There's no way. It would be insane. Neither proposal there would work. But if we imagine, all right. Thank you for the sub there, by the way. I feel like I've been a bit rude to chat today, so thank you for the support. I don't deserve it. There we go. Investigate a blood-tied coast. I think it'd be more likely you get an underwater mount, like a dolphin, and a deep sea mount, like a jellyfish, that keeps your body from being crushed. Yeah, I like the idea of a pressure mechanic. There's actually loads of masteries. We don't just have to talk about the world of mounts here, but there's loads of masteries that they could do based on underwater stuff. I'm actually very much convinced by it. Masteries that give you access to underwater inquest bases or whatever that, you know, are safe places for you. You otherwise wouldn't be able to get through their doorways. Masteries that allow you to see in the abyssal depths. You know, just darkness, like a light mechanic, a torch-based mechanic, vision. Masteries that allow you to survive pressure. Masteries that allow you to ride currents that they've, you know, manufactured out there in underwater. A mount mastery that allows you to swim around quicker down there. I mean, there's a huge number of things they could do. And I'm just pulling these out of my ass very quickly. Obviously, they're not all going to be perfect, but... And in testing, some of them would get refined away. But you've got such a wide base of things you can play with underwater. See, I just feel weird about talking about masteries because to me, it feels quite easy to invent them. Even when we leave underwater, it feels to me like, oh, there's a mastery that allows me to hit this tree and get coconuts from it. And then, you know, that's a buff or something. I don't know. Like, it sounds like you could do loads of things, but the devs are not so convinced. And ultimately, they're the ones making the game. So I do defer to their expertise. Maybe it is hard to make masteries fun. Their masteries are so wild. Like, look at what they ended up resorting to during Season 3. Like, look at some of this crazy shit. Ancient magics. The Siren of All, look at this. Look at all this stuff that they did for the Siren of All, never to go back to. The Coda's Flame stuff. They really went heavy with it, man. I wonder why they felt so pushed to do that. All right, we're going to do the Cardinals again, but first I'm going to go over here because this is the one direction I haven't been. I love the mist, guys. Look at this. Look at this fog. Look how utterly beautiful this is. Incredible. You know what should be a mastery? Racial skills of other races? No, that should just be a specialization. You should have a 4th specialization. You can specialize to be a race. Asura, Norn, Char, human, whatever. Gives you a couple of passives maybe and access to the racial skills. And every character in the game is racially specialized to one thing or another. So even though I'm an Asura, I could racially specialize as Norn. And now they can balance Norn skills to actually be good because every class has them and it's not a biography gate. That's always been what they should do. The only argument against that is, oh, but it would look weird to have an Asura be a bear. Yeah, but in Guild Wars 1, humans became bear. They just didn't get the animation. So do the same here. Just you get a shittier animation unless you are the... If you are the race specialized as the same race, you get all these badass animations. If not, you get kind of lamer ones. But the mechanics are all there. Alright, and I appreciate that's not a perfect picture, but there is no perfect... We're not in a perfect picture right now. The picture I'm painting is at least better than the game as it currently stands. I'm going to go right over to the lighthouse. That would be unbearable. No, it would not be unbearable. What do you mean that would be unbearable? I would be the bear, but I wouldn't have a Norn form. Because I picked Asura, not Norn, a character creation. And I don't have a character slot. And I don't want to delete one of my existing characters. It's unbearable. Please, at least you'll have a cool bear form with skills that are worthwhile that you could play with and use. It's so lame being a Norn at the moment. I want to be a Norn and feel powerful as a bear. Unbearable. The current game is unbearable. I genuinely cry myself to sleep with how the game is with the racials right now. That's unbearable. Okay, that noise I just made, I actually am like that before I fall asleep at night. It was just a pun. Oh no, call my Jake. It was just a pun. Unbearable. No, I don't really think in terms of puns, I must be honest. I don't really find puns funny, and I don't really think about them much, I don't know. Ooh, that word means something else in a different context. Hee hee. Okay. We found it! It's over here. Look how much juice we've got as well. I do occasionally accidentally make puns. People always credit me as though, like, oh, he did a pun. That was on purpose. It's not. It's not wit. It's very rarely wit. I'm very rarely genuinely doing a pun. Because I just don't think about them much. And they're not exciting to me. There's 2 layers to a pun, okay? Right, let me describe pun humor to you guys, all right? Here we go. You're going to learn something about the world here in the morning. I'm very high horsey today. Here's what you're going to learn. Puns. There's 2 layers to enjoy a pun. Layer 1, which is extremely mediocre, is the actual pun itself. And realizing that a word can mean a different thing or sounds like it means a different thing. We're in a no mount area right now because we're near the JP. It's all the way over here. That's layer 1 that you enjoy a pun at. Layer 2, which is what most people go on and on and on about, and is equally as lame, is forced cringe humor. Alright, now I love me some cringe humor. But here's 99% of pun scenarios in workplace environments or when you find yourself delivering a pun to someone in real life. You're gonna do the pun. You both know that it's lame and it's not funny and it's not really witty or clever or even that interesting. There's almost no value to a pun. And so that itself is the joke. It's an anti-joke. And you're supposed to then go through the little social dance of like cringing. Oh, that was so not funny. But you're smiling as you do it. And then the other person pulls like a smug smile. And you do like... It's like cringe humor. It's like fake cringe humor. You both fake to cringe at it. To like... honor the joke. And that in itself is cringy. So that's the 3rd hidden layer of the pun. There's 3 layers you enjoy the pun. Okay. There's layers 1 and 2. And then there's layer 3 that, you know... me, an intellectual, gets to enjoy. Oh god, we're going too far here. Alright. Investigate reality tears in the Desert Highlands. This is like every map. This is crazy. Now let's introduce layer 4. I'm not intellectual enough for layer 4. I don't know what that would be. Some people can really enjoy that. Don't judge like your opinion is best. No, damn it. This is it. These are the facts of pun humor. There's no other way to interpret them. That's it. They literally offer no value. Alright, okay. Maybe some people enjoy puns. Layer 4 is inventing puns. Wait. When you say inventing puns, do you mean making crappy wordplay? Or do you mean being the original guy to realize that you can make a joke out of the various contexts in which the sound of a word applies? Like you are the inventor of the original pun? Or are you linguistically the inventor of the word pun, P-U-N, and applied it to that form of social situation? Where do we want to go on this one? I'm just gonna go like downhill, I'm assuming. No, I am a more competent and confident sky scale flyer now as we come towards the end of this. I have truly embraced the sky scale mechanics. Absolutely cerebral. Look how good this is. Potatoes, I think you are overthinking puns. Really? Because I didn't think very long about that. Maybe that's just because I'm intellectual. Okay. So far, not very good. We may be an intellectual, guys, but we are blind, it seems. It seems chat was right earlier. Our powers of observation have weakened over the years. Hello, Nate. How do I say your name? Naelthelder? Nyethelder? Nyethelder? This still happens in chat. Look at this. People still joke about Joko. The Joko jokes. They continue. Oh, there it is. We found it. What a troll! These harpies. Harpies, the gunners of the West. These harpies are insane. They are the Sikkim soul beasts of PvE. Sniping us out of the sky. Can't do anything about it. I genuinely don't know what I could have done differently there. I kind of just have to sit there and take a beating, don't I? We'll go to the other one. Look at this extra value. You're actually getting to see both of the ones in this map, guys. Oh, this is where they did the one on the stream as well, isn't it? Just get good. I'm not good, though. It's a very new sky scale. All right, be nice. Look, it's there. Oh, so we start on that tree, do we? So the question is, what's the comfortable way of getting up there? Well, there's the bridge over there. So we go over into the cliff, cross the bridge, and go from there. In fact, we might be able to spring up the cliff here. Which, again, is a bit lame, because the actual route is supposed to be going through a cave, I think. Thanks very much for the sub there, Just Spiffin. I really appreciate that. Hope you like your new Guild Wars 1 emotes. Thank you. They let you ease in the core maps before slapping you back to reality. Yeah, there is such a big difference. You know, this open world... this is so easy. This is like one of the first ones they must have made. I'm thinking about this open world build series, right? And I've just got to figure out... I think I'm going to do like a... well, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I think it needs to be said at some point, maybe in an introductory video or something, that when a lot of people think open world and they think open world builds, they think it's not really worth talking about, because the first thing that strikes them, likely, particularly as more established players, are Cortirian areas. They think of, like, where we're about to go, the Straits of Devastation. And even when they think endgame open world, they think, like, ore and stuff. But the shit in these maps, like, dies so quickly. They genuinely feel like they have, like, quarter of the sustain and, like, quarter of the aggressive potential. They have, like, nothing on the new expansions. And I think any kind of open world build series would have to be quite clear early on that, like, you can't just run around killing ooze on this map and saying, look, I have a good build for open world. It doesn't, that means nothing, because these are just, it's a completely different tier of game, you know? And there is no middle ground either, you know, like, the Cursed Shore is a joke, and then all of a sudden you're fighting, like, Morgium and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, and now it's like a real game. Or, you know, let me rephrase that. Not like a real game, but the gear that's expected of you and all that kind of stuff just suddenly massively improves. Which is interesting to think of, because if I remember rightly, as Heart of Thorns was coming out, it was all tuned to be a lot more challenging. And then right before launch, they nerfed it all down. I think based on beta feedback, a lot of people were really struggling, so they nerfed it down. And people still struggle with, you know, bristlebacks and pocket wraps and stuff, myself included. I'm a people. So, you know, that's kind of something that I think is really important. Which one of you am I in combat with? You. How am I in combat with you? Where did you... What? Like, look at that. That guy... I mean, I'm on a very tanky build, to be fair. And that's why he's surviving as long as he is, too. But, you know, it's pretty much impossible that guy will kill me. And yet, you do that on any random trash mob in Heart of Thorns, POF, or any of the living world around them. That's not true. They will actually do some damage. And I think of the ooze in Straits of Devastation quite strictly as well, because I remember one of the Boots Bad build videos where he was doing Deadeye. I think my open world Deadeye video that I want to do. So Thief is weird because people keep telling me Staff is really good, but I keep playing Staff and I just don't find it as comfortable and easy and just face roll as PP variants, and especially Deadeye PP variants. So I don't know. I'm trying to really give Staff my best shot. I'm not totally convinced. Maybe I'm just bad at it. But kind of the idea of the builds is that it's impossible to be bad at them almost. Like, I just want these really, really comfortable, efficient, smooth builds that you don't actually have to think and you don't actually have to engage very much with the game in a weird way. You know, that's not necessarily because I think every player should have that mindset about the game, but I think for the build series, I think that's the angle of attack I'd like to go with. So I don't know. Anyway, Boots did a Boots Bad build on a similar concept, and he showed it in open world as well, I think. And he was killing ooze here, and you know, it's one of those things I look back on where I wish when me and Boots did that video, we showed off some other stuff too. And he definitely did show off some other stuff, but I just think that there's so little like meaning in sort of showing. Like, oh, I could show you a really good Reaper build and come kill these spiders here, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, any build can just come kill these spiders here very quickly. Really, you want to be in those new areas, and you want to drive the point home to people that the new areas have got worthwhile stuff to think about. This is a brilliant place to start a flying lesson. What a cool area. I love it when they're doing this stuff that's, like, giving us new... This is, like, new content right now. It's obviously a building that's been here since launch, but I've never experienced this building in this way. I've never been encouraged to explore this building in this way. This is so cool. I wish that they'd had it really high up as well, that encouraged me to stand on that roof and gain more charge juice. That was awesome. This is probably my favorite one, this one here. You don't dodge enough on everything you play in PvE? Yeah, but dodging is like downtime. Dodging is... even on Vault, right? Even on Bound. Sorry, not Vault. On a Deadeye. On a Daredevil, sorry. Even on Bound, I just feel like I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be evading for like a 4 or 5k strike. And 4 or 5k is a good amount of damage, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather be unloading where I'm, you know, doing well over almost 20k and healing the fuck out of it as well, and I can do it at range. It just feels like a waste of time. Yeah, the variant I've ran is Invigorating Precision and Cleanse on Dodge. I'll show you guys what I built after we get the Sky Scale here. I'll show you what I was playing. I'm pretty sure I made all the right build decisions. I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe if I had Marauder on. There's just something about melee 11k health that feels really fucking jank to me and just unnecessary. 11k health but range capacity, I'm happy with. The only thing that I really kind of like about Staff over Pistols is your stealth engage. It's got quite good break bar sort of work that you can do with it. And I think break bar is kind of nice on open world things. Like if I'm doing demonstrations on Fire Djinn, breaking their armor is really important to kill them cleanly. And I kind of want to find a nice way of doing that on like a PP setup. But and again, I understand that Staff is obviously more damage, right? And there's a big thing to say, look, more damage, they die quicker, there's less, you know, the more you trivialize the game. If you're literally just blowing everything up instantly, the more you trivialize the game. But there's a question of might and stuff as well. The PP variants can stack really high might, fury, quickness on themselves, solo. I feel like the end game, one of the biggest things with that series is people are too greatly influenced by their experiences in fractals and end game formats, and they think, oh, this build's therefore really good everywhere, but quite often it's not. And I don't know where's your might coming from on if you're running Staff. If you're running like Staff Shortbow, where's your might coming from? I said 10 minutes and you did it in an hour and a half. Way to go and making me look bad. Yeah, it's okay though. Oh, there we go, we got it! Thanks to your training, the Sky Scale species now has an innate steed rider instinct and a desire to soar to new heights. So what is the idea? We got lots of these now? Or just the one? Train your Sky Scale to leap off walls and harness reality rifts in order to reach incredible heights. And we've also unlocked the Crystal Desert Mastery Point. Brilliant. Look at this UI. I love this. Enjoy it, guys. Look at the colors. You only ever get to see this once. Account bounding, by the way. Okay, there it is. Oh, it comes below. Oh, so they kept the mounts together, I guess. So air rescue. Learn to mount the Sky Scale in midair to save yourself while falling. Brilliant. So we're going to master that. But now I can, let's see. Sky Scale. Check it out. He's up here. Look at that list. So there was that Reddit post where people ordered these in color range. So yeah, lovely. Does Goric say anything to me after that? Is that it? It feels a bit... I sort of feel like I should have been able to go back to Goric one last time. How much AP did we get? We got 25 AP. Beautiful. All right, let's go look at this Daredevil thing. Now, look, I know that some of you guys are going to be big defenders of this build, and they're like your main choices. And I'm not saying that there is zero value in running this. My criticisms are only as a point of comparison to a Deadeye variant, okay? But just to be clear, I'll share with you guys what I was thinking with the Staff and how I ran Staff, how I set up Staff. Yeah, I'm still live. I'm about to turn off, to be honest. We're an hour later than we normally are. So here you can actually see, right? I'm against the Djinn here. So one nice thing, I do like hide in shadows, just because it helps you to disengage. Oh, here I was trying pistol whip. I thought I had short bow there, and I was gonna short bow too. I'm gonna die because no valid path. This is some bullshit. I was just trying to get behind there and to leave. Yeah, it's spawning in versus 3 Djinn in a position where I don't even know what weapon sets I've got, and it's never gonna go well. Look, they can't even kill me here. So why did I die? All right, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so that wasn't a showcase at all. I wasn't trying to showcase anything there. I was trying to get out of combat to swap. So here's what I was looking at with the build. I was going bounds. I was taking Staff Master because I figure, you know, endurance for more dodges, for more damage. I was taking Condi Cleanse and Heal whenever you evade on Escapist Fortitude. Was I running Trickery? I think I did, because Preparedness just feels really good, right? I think I did run Trickery for a bit. I was on Invigorating Precision. Obviously, you can turn off Hide in Shadows for Signet, right? But I like this a lot. for channeling stuff, breaking combat. It's a cleanse on its own as well, right? Like, cleanse just feels really good. I had Dagger Storm on instead of, like, Impact Strike or whatever. This is obviously good for break bars. I agree, and that's a Daredevil thing. If you're running Deadeye, you're probably not going to have... I mean, you could... Bassi Venom doesn't really work solo gameplay because it's more about sharing. So this is a big perk of being a Daredevil, right? Because you can actually hit the break bars. And that's really nice. Meanwhile, Dagger Storm doesn't offer you the same thing. I'm wondering if I can circumvent that. A pistol build's got ankle shots, so constant cripple. Maybe you can use like a food to go constant cripple and chill. And then a couple of blinds in there, you just drain break bars without actively doing any hard CC all the time. But yeah, I ran Staff. I genuinely think if this was all Marauders, it'd be way better. I don't have a full Marauders set here. And I think I will be recommending Marauders. But 11k health melee just felt a bit off. What did I do for utilities? Here I was looking at Shadow Step and Infiltrate Signet. But that's sort of classic. That's pre-mount. You don't really need these now that mounts are in the game. So you could obviously run something else. Bandit's Defense probably would feel pretty good. Chain some blocks, right, in PvE. I mean, having stun breaks is pretty huge. So this one's a stun break, this one's a stun break. Assassin Signet's good on PP because you can just keep bouncing it and holding it forever. I don't know what the kill rate's like on this. In fact, it does. On Deadeye, you refresh your utility skills every kill. So you can just bounce through mobs and just keep refreshing cooldowns like fucking mad. On this, you can't necessarily so much. I appreciate I could go Deadly Arts for like Executioner and go heavier pressure. But, like, you get the half-range still on Deadeye now as well, and that feels kind of bad in PvE. So, I don't know. Obviously, Weakening Strikes is pretty good damage too. But, like, I don't know. I feel like he should be dead already. Obviously, that dodge was out of position. That vault there, not killing it. And that was a veteran, right? I'm well aware it was a veteran. So, like, double Jacaranda here. No crit. They spread out a little bit, so I'm not getting the AoE value. I mean, it's obviously good. Out of initiative. This guy's alive. I thought he was dead. We can go for the warg here. I don't even know whether I would want to chain that the whole way. Probably not. The finish aspect of it is really lame in PvE. We can combo field this and it's pretty good pressure. I mean, the 4K dodges feel good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure I really care about the 4 or the 3, right? I don't think I do. He died pretty good. That felt like an okay kill. But so you got that, right? And then what we're comparing it to is playing Deadeye with the double pistols. The other swap, we can do whatever. I was looking at some break bar damage maybe, right? But you can run like... whenever you kill something, basically, with Renewing Gaze. Renewing Gaze is whenever you score a kill. You refresh cooldowns, right? You can run like Dagger Storm because you can just spam Dagger Storms. You can even spam Thieves Guilds on this, which gives you like... having AI with you is really potent in PvE. And these guys do like Scorpion Wires and stuff. And the cooldown is just so low on this build. You could take a bit more cleanse here. Obviously stun breaks, precision on there, whatever you want. And then, you know, we could actually keep most of this the same up here. You could put the Signet of Malice on, but it's not even necessary really. And then if you anticipate killing lots of things, you go Be Quick or Be Killed. Or if you think you're going to be against the big long boss, go Maleficent 7. This doesn't even matter much. We could go Collateral Damage for funsies. Probably Malicious Intent is the best. And then the playstyle here is Thrill of the Crime gives you Fury every time you mark something. Assassin's Fury's giving you Might. And you can basically just fucking press 2. He CC'd me, but from a range that I wasn't expecting. It's basically just 2 buttons and everything dies now. And it's at range and I'm comfortable. Like, how is Staff better than this? I don't feel it. And here we've got our still's a bit messed up. There it didn't look like we did any damage, but it's because we killed the other one. I mean, 30k in 2 hits? And I'm not spamming my elite. I could have had, like, 6 thieves with me right now. I get that there's an AoE difference. I do get that there's an AoE difference, but how relevant is that in PvE a lot of the time? The only time I really think the staff, I'd be like, I wish I had staff, is, like, against pocket raptors. Like here, for example, we got 2 veterans. We got a veteran Hydra, a veteran Sand Eel with us. And so you might say, oh, look, AoE WP. You could be killing them both together. Well, if you're balling them up correctly. All we have to do is just kite. Here my initiative's running low, but you could run quick pockets. So I'm not decided on that right now. So here AoE would be pretty good. But also, I do want to note as well that in a situation like exactly like this, I can't right now because I don't have it on. But if you just short bow cluster bomb, you fucking annihilate stuff anyway. 25 might quickness, fury cluster bombs. Like these things I would be cluster bombing right now. And I think it kind of can fill that staff role anyway, right? So this is a lot of AoE here, but just look at how comfortable this is. I'm just spamming 3, and I'm not going to come anywhere near to dying. The heads are pressured because they get bled. I kind of want a better stun break. I don't really like the double signet. Yeah, and I'm not even playing this very well with the utilities. So I'm back up to 100. This guy's invulnerable for some reason. I don't know why. He must have aggroed from a million years away. And now he's leaving. I mean, that's not really the build's fault. Staff would have struggled with that as well. So, look, I think staff's good. I really do. But I think as a general thing, this one has my my attention a little bit more at the moment. That's not. I'm not using the engage either, which I could do a little bit better. But like, look, we can Thieves Guild again in a second. Like, this is one of the coolest things about it, just spamming Thieves Guilds out. So, I don't know, you guys tell me. Let's see in chat. I like Starfish, it's really fun to feel like a martial arts master. This just looks so boring because you barely do anything and things die. But it's personal. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll accept that as a criticism, that this feels more boring. I definitely will accept that. But I also think the nature of the series I want to produce, which is all about sort of that comfort. I think this is probably the build that pips it a little bit. So here's the problem with the build. It's the break bar. Once his break bar's up, these guys get really tanky. Like, I could kill him super quick. But how do I break that break bar? Headshots a tiny bit. Obviously, with the Thieves Guild, we get, you know, blinds and weakness, and it's helping to go down a bit. But I don't like that. I wonder whether I should do food or something. I wonder if there's a utility. I don't really want to do blinding shadow. But maybe that's okay if you're refreshing your utility skill cooldowns all the time. Maybe. But do you see how this guy's alive? This is gross. Look, we're getting only 7k damage per unload. We're going to get initiative starved and stuff. There, I didn't engage again properly. So if this is going to be like one of my demonstrations of the builds, like you can just come here and go ham on a Reaper, for example, or whatever. You know, you need that CC on there, and that's definitely a weakness here. While on Daredevil, you could impact strike or whatever. So, yeah. I don't know. Again, this looks like a good little AoE section here. Staff would probably feel pretty good here. But again, like right now, all I want to do is just go to short bow. They would die on short bow in like moments. I would just weapon swap 2-2, and they'd be over. Maybe not even just short bow. Maybe, yeah, no, short bow is probably your best AoE option there. Bassy Venom's not good in a solo environment. See, that's weird to me. People even recommending Bassy Venom is fucking crazy. That's such a raider mindset. That's so weird. It's sort of like, oh, it breaks break bars and raids. But you got to share it to people for it to do that. It's not that much break bar damage, one proc of it. Yeah, and headshot is very little. Honestly, it's not good for break bars. This build is not good for break bars. You have to rely on the soft CC from the Thieves Guilds or some shit. Or I don't know, like, I was thinking Smokescreen as well. I was thinking, because you have Perma Cripple, if you get the chill food, right? Obviously, blind fields are just good. So you just stand in it, and look, you go blindness, 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 blindness. You do billions of blindness, and you could just drain the bar down in moments. Is kind of the thinking. Look, we're getting fucked up here. So these guys are just really dangerous unless you can break their break bars. And that's kind of a big part of the fight. I don't know whether any of these skills do the thing. But when I press this, do I always stealth? No, you have to like run shadow arts for that or something, don't you? There's another variant that you could do. I don't know. And again, if you're going quick pockets to just sustain the permanent unloads with weapon swaps, you can't do short bow for the AoE. Oh, Scorpion Wire has ammo. Dude, hype. It's a shame it doesn't actually say the pull on the tooltip there. How much pull damage is it? You might have just solved it. You might have just solved it indeed. How does ammo work with the refresh rate? Okay, Scorpion Wire. Oh, it's not much. 2 Scorpion Wires, 2 headshots. Ammo's coming back pretty quick. We run tricks, so it's cleanse. Oh, by the way, I would be on Bountiful Theft for the Daredevil builds. If anyone was looking at that and thinking, where's this vigor? I would run Bountiful Theft, just to be clear. I wouldn't have stayed on Trickster. I didn't notice that. Don't worry, I'm not totally crazy. I think so. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've done justice to. I think I understand the whole staff play style. I don't think I'm missing anything important. If you think I am, tell me in chat, and we'll see. All right, tomorrow for Master, we are. Oh, guys, we're done with the casino. We're done with thingy. There are quite a few things I was going to talk about. Bubble breathers, I want to look into. Carnival weapons, I want to look into. The legendary desert bounty stuff, I want to look into. There's a lot of things. What we might do is Azric might end up going to Ember Bay now to get the daily. So there's like a. Let me see. Let me go on lists. Maybe I can show you guys. We are going to close the stream in a second. This has been such a long. This is the longest Master stream I've done, I think. Yeah, I think that the steel is good for Bountiful Theft as well. It might even be good on the Deadeye build. Yeah, because in POF and stuff. For example, I was playing the Deadeye, killing, like, another thing I like to do is over here in Tangled Depths, you can test the potency of things on these mobs, like the Chuck Blitzers and stuff, the big guys, these lobbers. Now, what happens when you engage these is they give themselves a bubble and retail, and if you unload against the retail, you just global yourself. Staff doesn't struggle with that, so this was one of the things I was looking at. Staff doesn't struggle with the retail, but you can rip the retail. In theory, I guess. I don't know whether it refreshes. But again, that's like break bar, but I think they mitigate projectiles too. And also, by the way, even though the Deadeye thing seems a bit brain dead, because it is like almost pure projectile oriented, it can lead to you realizing weird interactions and mechanics on like various enemies you didn't know were there because you just never relied on projectiles much before. Which I think is actually kind of a really fun element. Oh, I remember this. This gets me nostalgic, man. That's weird, isn't it? Why am I getting nostalgic from that? It looks kind of crap, actually. Anyway, the carnival. Where are you, carnival? What a map this is. So there's a weapon set from this map. The Shipwrecked Circus Treasurer. They sell carnival stuff. And if you look, it's all ultra expensive. I need this whole skin set, right? 150 gold per skin. And they, by the way, don't really even look that good. It was a really interesting experiment from the devs. If this skin set looked good, I think they'd nailed something perfect. I think they'd found a really good thing. But because the skin set didn't look good, they've never returned to it. But the idea is release an ultra expensive weapon set on a map, but add a bypass on the second tab that it allows you to get them for cheaper in exchange for a daily currency. So these vouchers give you massive discounts on buying these. But, I mean, the discounts probably aren't enough. And the skins didn't look good enough, so people didn't engage with it much. But this was genius. There's genius at ArenaNet, and then they just turned their backs on it. This is good. It just, they didn't get it perfect out the gate, so they've abandoned it. But I think all Living World episodes could have had a thing like this. Yeah, I said massive discount. It's not actually, is it? What are we dropping? We're dropping from 150 to 120. So it's like you get 30 gold for doing this heart 10 times in a row. Right? Because I think you get a voucher for doing the heart. I think that's the way that works. So is doing this heart over 10 days worth 30 gold? Are they all discounted by 30? They're not even all discounted by 30. Look, you only get a discount of 10 gold on the Focus. And yet it costs the same number of vouchers. So this is just hastily implemented. This is just... They just needed to do it a little bit smarter. But, you know, we might put Azaric here. Azaric can move from the casino to somewhere else. I really like the idea that he's going to move on to do a new adventure in a new area of the world now, and we'll see him somewhere else. I really like that idea. If you guys have any other thoughts, the other things would be like go to crate chests for aqua bubble breathers, which I need to unlock. And now that I've started doing fractals again, because I do Nightmare CM every day, I'm getting them every day, and I can spend them. Stuff like that, I don't know. Dumart says, when I was doing it, I needed it for two-handed weapons. Exactly, so you get max value out of the vouchers, right? So I think that might be worth us doing for Azaric. We could get Azaric to pick up the two-handers and then move on. You made a video some time ago about how Ellie has no good build without the water trait line, apart from fresh air. Now Burn Weaver has appeared that swaps water for fire. In my opinion, Water Weaver is still better for ATs as Burn, but are you pleased with the state of Ellie in PvP now? Yeah, actually, in that video you're talking about Wooden Potatoes 2 video, I did actually say that fire is an option with Glyph, and Signet is even... I might not have mentioned Signet. But I did mention that variety, and I had played with it. I wasn't particularly convinced, but then the balance shifted a little bit more in its favor shortly after the video. So I am happy with that, actually. I do think it's cool. I don't think I expressed in quite such certain terms that it's impossible without water, because I don't think that's been true for a long time. But with some of the more recent balance considerations, yeah. And I might actually play a lot of that this season. I kind of want to play a duelist again. I don't know. I'm not enjoying Scourge too much. And maybe I'll get really into Fireweaver. It's a build that you can do really well on. Or it's a build you can be pretty mediocre and shit at, which I think a lot of players are. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a good shot. I felt the same way about Mirage for a long time. That most Mirages were pretty much just boosted by very, very power crept stuff. But if you tried really hard with it, you could do very well if you were very conservative about your movement and stuff. And I think Weaver's in sort of a similar-ish place. It's just not as boosted. Yeah, and there's a lot of them around, so I don't know. I might give it a shot. I was playing a bit of Sword Weaver earlier on the stream, and it felt fun, and I missed it a bit. So, isn't there a further discount if you buy the 1,000 gold achievement here, or was that removed before the map release? Wow, Pokey, you know about the map before it was released? That's a good point. I forgot about that. Who do you buy that from? I can't remember who sells you that title. It's not the Heartbender, is it? Circus Castaway. Where's the Heartbender? Is he even on this island? He's all the way down there. Ringmaster Ivy, do you sell it?
Welcome to the Ember-based Circus, Wayfarer. Home to some of the rarest curiosities on the Fire Islands.
The Ringleader. There's the Ringmaster. Isn't there like a portal that you travel through and it takes you up to another area or something? Why do I remember that? Obviously Springer wasn't in the game at that point, so maybe I can just cheese it and get up there anyway. I remember like being teleported somewhere different. It's the Shipwrecked Circus Treasurer. So it is this character. Patronage. As a patron you become a far and wide. Here it is. Oh god. That didn't feel good. We had to do it, though. We had to do it. One day it had to happen. So there it is. 1,000 big ones. Alright. I'm rich, you know. Now I feel like I have to rep that just a little bit. A little while. Just for a little while. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next Guild Wars 2 Master tomorrow morning. Oh, God. We're in it for the long haul, everyone. Rip it like a band-aid.